How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, and I don't know where to start. First of all, a transgender lawmaker in Montana was expelled from the House chambers. Not expelled from the House, just the House chambers. We'll talk about why that is in a little bit. ABC News censored RFK Jr.'s interview. If you guys don't know, RFK Jr. is running for president on the Democratic side, and he gave ABC News an exclusive first interview of the 2024 presidential campaign that he's running. And it was no more than a hatchet job, no more than a pathetic excuse for an interview. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we may or may not address Steven Crowder. I want you guys to let me know if I should address Steven Crowder and the whole situation. It's very controversial and sensitive, but hey, when you put stuff out there for public consumption, people are going to consume it publicly. And if you don't want that to happen, keep your mouth shut. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Jada Pinkett Smith and the Red Table Talk show is being canceled from Meta or Facebook because they canceled all their original programming, including Red Table Talk. But I'm glad the show was gone, and hopefully it stays gone. The date in Houston, Texas that went totally off the rails at a certain point during intermission. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank you guys for being here. Yet again, you guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I'm looking at some of the responses. You know what I'm gonna do right away before we even get to the sponsors, before we get to anything, before I get to my introduction, really, I'm gonna do a poll. Should I address Crowder during this live stream? Should I go back over that? Should we review it? I'm going to make that poll right now. Okay, should I address Crowder during this stream? And it's simple yes or no. No maybe or no, nothing, none of that. Yes, no. And once I start my topics and everything, I'm going to look at the results and then we're going to go from there. All right. Because I've done my video on it. I could easily just, leave it be. But of course, you guys know how I do on this show. I talk about a lot of things that are happening. All right. And we got to get it definitive because right now it's kind of some shaky results right now. The results are shaky. We got to get it definitive. But I am going to let it be up for a while. Look at the votes coming down already. 116 votes. And if you guys are watching the screen on the YouTubes, sorry for this block being right here. I can't do anything about that. That's just the way it is. That'll go away after the poll ends in a few minutes. So we are going to get into quite a few things tonight. Like I said, the poll right here is about Crowder, but we got a lot of other things going on. And that's it. NKM says, I never get the poll. You never get the poll. What you mean? Like it doesn't show up on your screen? What's happening? You got to get your phone upgraded or something, I suppose. I know I covered it earlier, but I always cover topics that I've already covered on the show. But what I do is I may give a different wrinkle to it, or I may just kind of review it. That's just part of how I operate the thing. All right. So as you can see, a lot of the topics that are in the headline, I've already done videos on them. And then also what I do on the live show is that I bring in some videos that I've not spoken about yet, some exclusive things. Random things things that may not necessarily call for an entire video, but are good topics to discuss nonetheless. So, and we got to get it definitive because right now it's not necessarily definitive. We got to get it definitive. But, or if it's not definitive, I probably just will not do it, but we'll see. We shall see. Now, before I get to anything, before I get to any topics at all, you guys know how I operate. Shout out to Patriot Post .us, the best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. You can visit them through the link in the description or go to patriotpost.us directly. Go ahead, subscribe to them right now today. Tell them that ABL sent you. You will not regret your decision. Again, patriotpost.us. Also, shout out to my particular websites, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. Check them on out right now. And of course, my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. If you go to the front page of the website, you can find articles for each video that I produce all throughout the week, complete with sources and full videos and things that I may not be able to show right here on the YouTubes. You can find on my website. Again, anthonyblogan.com. Check it on out. And once you go to the contact page, anthonyblogan.com/contact, you can find my email address, my snail mail address, my social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All that is right there on the contact page of my website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, if you guys are wondering if I'm contacting you for some reason, here's a scenario, and I always say it just for a PSA because you guys don't watch every stream, and I understand that, so I got to say it every time for those who don't. If I post a video on YouTube and you respond to the video, you reply, you leave a comment under the video, and then someone replies to your comment and they look like me, it's a similar picture, similar name, they're talking about, hey, contact me here, email me here, don't do it. It's not me. I'm never going to contact you talking about, let's talk about Forex and Bitcoin. I'm not going to do it. So please don't get scammed in 2023. Matter of fact, we got a story we're going to get into in the moment about scamming and whatnot. But please don't get scammed. I will never contact you about anything like that. And if you're wondering if it's me or not, go to the contact page of my website. If that particular number is not there, which it won't be because I don't have any numbers on my contact page. But if it's not there, it's not me. So don't get scammed. I will never contact you about money or anything else. If you want to email me directly, my email is on the website, anthonyblogan.com. And my email is contact@anthonyblogan.com. If you go to my website, it's right there. All you got to do is copy and paste it. Don't even worry about trying to get it perfectly right or remember it. Just go to the website, and the website is always in the description. That's the key right there. The website has it. If it doesn't have it, then it's not real. It's fake, and that's just what it is. All right, so we are going to keep on rocking and rolling. Speaking about, matter of fact, I'm seeing the poll right now. The poll is very interesting. The poll is very, very interesting. I'm going to get to one topic first. I'm going to show some videos first before I get to my actual full topics. I think once I get to my full topics, what I'm going to do is end the poll. But for right now, I have a video that I'm going to put out tomorrow. Sunday videos, I know. The YouTube streets want so many videos and so much content. It's crazy. It's a whole big mess. But I have one video I think I want to do right now that I'm going to cover tomorrow. And that's about these guys. You may have seen these young guys, right, on TikTok. If you are really into the whole TikTok game, there are these young guys over there who have become very, very popular. And there is a bunch of stuff with these guys, though. You know, it's not really what you think. Okay. So here's a video I'm gonna show you, and then I'm gonna show you a little bit more. All right. Let's check it out right here. And these two guys, Freaking Frack, Dumb and Dumber, Hunter Grayson, whatever their names are, they're very popular on the TikToks, right? Let's go ahead and play this. Then we're going to get to why I'm showing these guys. All right, hold on. Let's get a little bit of sound. That might help. And let's not burst your eardrums. There we go.
What the Republican Party doesn't understand about Gen Z is we don't like you. You claim you want to appeal to Gen Z, but you call us stupid, you say we're dumb, you say we're indoctrinated. I promise it's a losing strategy. And Gen Z is watching the Republican Party extremely closely as they destroy our environment, take rights away from women, do nothing about kids being shot in schools, and if they think they can give the middle finger to our generation and get away with it, they're sorely mistaken.
So these guys right here are very popular on TikTok. They have a combined about 800,000 followers on Twitter, maybe even close to like 900,000, maybe close to 1 million right now. I'm not sure, but they're between 800,000 and 1 million followers combined on TikTok. They are pretty big on Twitter. They're all over the place, right? Now, they purport themselves to be just young, passionate Gen Z, liberal Democrats talking about things that affect them, railing against the Republicans, all this and that. They appear to be organic. They're in their house or in I'm not sure which one, Bill or Ted, one of their mom's house. Of their brothers, I can't really tell. I don't know what's going on, but regular old suburban, good white kids talking about good liberal Democratic policies, right? That's the angle. I'm not a racist person, but that is what they want to do. And you know why I know they want to do that is because these guys are bought and paid for by the DNC. We have evidence. Hold on. Check out this guy right here. This guy, I meme, therefore I am, on the Twitters at I'm meme O, the number 0. Look at this video right here, and you're going to see him expose these guys.
We all know this kid, right? And how about this one? Well, as many of us have suspected for a long time, looks like those two are partisan hacks bought and paid for by the DNC to the tune of around $210,000. If you check their bios, both of them are managed by a company called Palette Media. And you might think, well, why is that important? Because Palette Media received direct payments by the DNC totaling $210,000. Apparently, the DNC didn't want to make direct payments. By the way, all of this is publicly available on the FEC website, so they don't want to make direct payments exposing Harry and his goons. So instead, they get a little creative with their accounting. First, they send the money to Palette, which then manages their talents like Harry. Now, none of this should surprise anyone because it's public knowledge that Biden started an army of social media influencers. But I guess they didn't want you to know who.
There you have it. There you have it. There is the evidence right there in front of your eyes. And shout out to Dumb A Photoshop for this picture right here. I know it's hard to see, so y'all please pardon me. I'm going to try to zoom in as much as I can. So these are the guys right here on TikTok. You can see their followers, 680,000, 204,000. I can't tell which one. You know, Chris, Harry, same thing to me. Like I said, Bill and Ted, freaking frack, whatever. Anyway, so you see right here, here's some receipts, right? Donations. So Palette Media Incorporated, transaction amount, 200,000. And then right here, you see right there, DNC Services Corps, Democratic National Committee. And then same thing over here for the 10,000. And the 10,000 was August 4th, 2022. The 200,000 was October 19th, 2022. Now, I wonder how much they're getting paid now. And then look at see the description. For the 200,000, the description is paid media advertising, okay? And then the other one, online advertising other. So advertising, paid media, online, you already know what it is. And these guys started working with Palette in October 2022. So, okay, Harry started working for Palette in October 2022. In October 2022 is when they got $200,000. So maybe with that money right there, they were able to go sign Harry. See how that works? You see how that works? Now check it out. They put out a video, freaking frack. They put out a video talking about the expose, but for some reason the video was deleted. The video was deleted. Check it out.
Us brothers, as the Republicans would like to call us, but recently many people on the right have been accusing myself and Chris of being paid by the DNC, and we just wanted to come on and say that's an incredibly dumb thing to think.
Yeah, like congratulations, you discovered we're both signed to Palette Management, which is in our bios. And Palette's a huge company, right? They do marketing work, they do management work. So they receive that money to do marketing and to cover travel expenses separate from what we do. So we haven't seen a dime of that $200,000. Like, do you really think I would dress like this if I had $200,000?
Let's pause right there. They're being disingenuous. I mean, come on. We know what the game is. First of all, you're not going to get paid directly from the DNC. They're going to set up a company or reach out to an existing company and pay them indirectly to have you guys go out there and do certain things. And you kind of told on yourself also. You said they paid for travel. I see you guys are in the hotel room right now. I know what a hotel room looks like. You guys are in the hotel room. You're not in that room that I showed earlier in Hunter or Grayson's house, wherever house that was, whoever mom's house you were in, eating Pop-Tarts and whatnot. It's like that saying you're in the hotel room right now. So if you're saying they paid for travel expenses, when we didn't ask you anything about travel expenses, and you're in the hotel room, 2 + 2 is 4. Okay, you signed to Pilot Media, they're paying for travel, which means they paid for that hotel room and your travel, which means that the Democratic Party paid for your hotel room and travel. That's how it works, right? According to you.
And again, it's all public information. And you discovered we're Democrats, and we're going to vote for Joe Biden, which I think most people already knew.
And look, if the DNC is handing out checks, we should be first in line to receive them, but that's simply not happening, and we haven't received a dime from the DNC. And we want to make it clear, we're perfectly happy to work with organizations that share our vision. So if someone reached out to us and say, hey, we're trying to make sure the environment is protected, would love to work with them. But we are simply not working with the DNC, and we want to reiterate that everything that's been posted on social media is public information. This is not a home run story. It's all out there for everybody to see.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we're going to go continue our normal content like people want to see. Maybe we'll go hang out with Hillary and Hunter on an island or something, but not the home run story you think it is, and we love it.
But, okay, they put that video out and then deleted it. There were also tweets out defending them getting paid by Pilot Media, which were also deleted. You know what I think happened? They got a call from the lawyer like, hey, man, you guys said a few things in the video that might be a little weird when you're kind of cross-examined on it. Like, hey, well, what's going on? Why? Okay, so who paid for the travel? You could just make easy connections and see that they're not being genuine here. Very disingenuous. We know what's going on. And like my man said earlier, there's going to be an army of these influencers that are paid by the Democratic Party to influence the 2024 election. But then they're going to tell you that influencing the election with money is somehow bad or illegal or immoral. It's weird how that works, right? Hey, it's cool when you do it, problem when I do it, right? Anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, somebody said Laverne and Shirley. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. Yeah, I call them goobers. That's my nickname for them. These two goobers are brought to you by the DNC paid actors. Yes, I did say goobers. That's probably the appropriate term to use. It's not vulgar. It fits perfectly. So shout out to you. I'm glad you saw that one. Right on. Beavis and Butthead, Wayne's World. Like I said, Bill and Ted. It's crazy to think about Bill and Ted. That was Keanu Reeves in that. I forget who the other guy was, but I forget Bill or Ted was Keanu Reeves. It's crazy to see him in that role. And then to fast forward to The Matrix and John Wick. It's crazy to see that John Wick was one of the Bill and Ted boys. It's crazy, but I digress. Yeah, I ain't worried about them being LGBT. My thing is about them being paid by the Democratic Party. You know, being fake social media people. There's a lot of fake stuff online, and this is why you should not compare yourself. I'm not saying you guys do, but some people do. They compare themselves to social media influencers, and they think that their life is not really going well because of a guy or a girl online, and they look at the way they live, and they try to compare themselves to it. But a lot of what you see is fake. It's fake. It's not real. It's advertising. It's marketing. It's not real. A lot of you guys know that I used to, well, not used to, but I went to college and I went for graphic design and I took an advertising class. And my teacher was an amazing teacher. Shout out to him. I forget his name, but he was amazing. I was only in there for a short period of time. I think he had left the school or something. I can't really remember. But anyway, he was a great teacher. And he was just giving us real talk. It wasn't even about teaching from the book. It was just him just like giving the podcast to us every Tuesday or whenever that class was. He was like, you know, you have advertising that can be ethical and unethical. Sometimes advertising happens and you don't realize it's happening to you. You know, they push certain things on you. Sometimes it's obvious, like product placement or whatever. Or if I say, hey, drink this water. If I say something like that, it's pretty obvious. If I'm wearing the merchandise, it's obvious. But then sometimes there are things that are not so obvious. Very well crafted schemes and scams and whatnot to push a product or service or an opinion on you, and you don't even realize it. And a lot of that's happening with social media influencers. A lot of that's going on. Okay. I was going to show a video right there. Hold on. I might show this video. I'm going to show some of this, not because of anything other than the poor acting. This is an example of bad acting on a skit, but I've seen much better acting, and you would think it's real. You would not know that it was fake. But this right here is completely fake, and it's obvious.
An amazing time on my date tonight. She's so cool, and we have so much in common.
I don't know if I can do this. The thought of you just being with somebody else is making me feel sick.
Baby, I understand this is challenging for you, but we both agreed that we were going to...
Okay, we don't got to get into the subject matter of the video, but the whole point is that the acting right there was terrible. But there is a lot of content where the acting is pretty good, and you couldn't really tell if it's fake or real. The whole point of what I'm talking about is social media, you got to assume that it's fake. Assume it's fake and then figure out if it's real afterward. Okay, that video right there, the subject matter was kind of weird, not up my alley, but they probably don't even live like that at all. It was just completely fake, and a lot of stuff is like that on social media. So those boys, it's the same thing. Some of these commentators, some of these people, it's just not real. And my thing is, when people are kind of fake, it's one thing, but then when they try to elicit sympathy or they try to make you do certain things based on that fakeness, that's when I got an issue. It's just like sometimes you see people talking about, well, I got to raise some money because my dog done died, my parrot done died, all this and that. But then you come to figure out that it's fake and there was no dog or parrot and it was just all the ruse to get money. They played on your emotions and tugged on your heartstrings to be able to get a particular thing that, you know, is all based on fraud. Okay, I'm gonna end the poll right here. So the yays have it with a narrow margin. 51% say I should address Crowder. 48% say I shouldn't. So maybe I won't harp on it too much, but I gotta address the elephant in the room for sure. I gotta address the elephant in the room. It is what it is, but I'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Obama's History Project says ABL is a cool cat. Lots of people in the comments are texting random. Maybe ABL attracts a lot of acid heads. Is that still a thing? Is that still a thing? Acid? Do people do that in 2023? I mean, that's like some 1970s type of stuff. I'm not sure what's going on, but anyway, shout out to you, man. I appreciate you for your comment, and we got a whole lot going on. I will get to the whole Crowder thing later, not right now. I'm gonna keep on rocking here. Speaking about crazy things happening, did you guys see that date that went totally wrong? Well, the date didn't go wrong. Actually, the date was very good from what I can see. The date lasted for hours, but the guy did something mid-date that was crazy. Now, to be clear, I have no sympathy for the guy that got smoked in the situation, because when you do things like that to people, negative things happen. I'm not saying it was the appropriate response. I'm not saying that guy shouldn't go to jail for what he did, but I'm not going to sit here and cry tears for a guy that scams or cons or does people wrong. I'm not going to shed tears. Not at all. At the same time, I'm not going to say that the guy who smoked him was right and should get set free, because he shouldn't. What I'm going to say is, I have a lot to say, actually, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. Y'all please hang tight. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And also, to you guys out there, this is going to be a cautionary tale. A cautionary tale.
Date night.
Don't do this. Okay? If you find yourself getting scammed or conned, don't handle it this way. All right? So check it out.
Date night at Rodeo Goat in Edo turned deadly when 29-year-old Eric Aguirre and the woman on the date parked in this lot across the street. According to court documents, 46-year-old Elliot Nix, claiming to be a parking attendant, came up to the couple and asked for $40 after paying and walking into the burger restaurant.
There was a waiter who knew that the guy was scamming people for parking, and he advised them, hey, that guy is scamming you for parking.
Employees of this smoke shop then watched Aguirre sprint to his car, grab a pistol, and chase after Nix, shooting him on the side of Chartres Street. He later died at the hospital.
The penal code in Texas and in 49 other states, and in most civilized countries, doesn't give you any legal basis to shoot and kill someone who ripped you off.
Aguirre returned the gun to his car, then to his date at the restaurant, who didn't know anything happened.
Let's pause right here. So he goes out to the parking lot, seeks revenge, smokes the guy, and goes right back to there like ain't nothing happened. Like, it's like, hey, you know, he dead, but whatever, I'm going back to the date. And the date lasted for hours. For hours. I mean, I don't know, man. You got a lot going on to do something like that.
Until police put this picture of the couple out the next day.
She knows that he was upset and he went after the person that allegedly scammed him. But they went to have dinner, and at some point, the defendant said he wasn't comfortable at the restaurant, and they left.
The date continued hours into the evening, and within 24 hours, 2 Crime Stoppers tips identified the couple.
She wanted to do the right thing. She wanted to make sure that she came forward and told the police what she knew.
All right, so that's that. You know, the couple had a date, and so what happened was they pulled up to the spot in separate cars. I'm not sure if it was a Tinder type situation, first date, whatever. They had separate cars when they pulled up, and the guy was asking for $20 each for each car. So really, it was about $20, not 40, but we could just say 40 because 2 cars, $20 each. Now, some guys are going to say, well, $40 for parking. Well, at Labs in Atlanta, try parking in Atlanta for less than $40. It's $40 is pretty much the going rate. If you're inside the city, if you're downtown, midtown, somewhere like that, and it's an event going on, especially, you're paying $40 for parking. You're paying that for parking. Oh yeah, all day long. Okay, valet, they're going to take money out. Like if you're parking at a hotel, especially in Atlanta, they're going to charge you $40 on your bill, and they want to tip at the valet place. So you're going to pay bare minimum the $40. But anyway, I digress. The point is that a parking lot attendant who was not an attendant came up to him and scammed him, said, hey, parking is $40. I need you to go ahead and pay it. And they paid their money, walked into the spot, and then they get told by a waiter that it was a guy outside scamming. So the guy on the date gets mad. He pauses the date, goes outside to his vehicle, gets his gun, finds the guy, and kills him right there. Now, I don't know how he was able to just walk away from the scene. I don't know where he found the guy, in some deep, dark corner, if nobody heard the gunshots or whatever. And they did leave that place. Like the guy went back into the restaurant to finish the date, but they left the place afterward and they went to other places. I'm not sure if they went back to the house or whatever the case may be, but they left that date and went elsewhere. But my thing is like this. You got a few things going on. First, the guy was wrong to scam him. That's just obvious. So I'm not going to shed tears for the guy that's dead. Because when you do things like that, you never know who you're going to come in contact with, right? The guy didn't do anything to you. He's a regular, innocent normie, and you scam him. You don't know if he has an anger problem or what's going on. If he's on edge, he might be broke now. Whatever it is, it could be anything that set him off. And you did something that might set somebody off. So I have no tears for the guy. However, the guy went way over the top. Check it out. If it's me, if it's me and I am in the restaurant and I get told that I got scammed in the parking lot, I got to take that L because I'm thinking about what I can do. Okay, what are my options? I can go confront him to get my money back, but am I trying to confront this guy in the street and risk a gunfight, a knife fight, or a fist fight where he might get injured severely? I might get injured severely over $40. Now, we're talking about rent money, but you know what? I'm not paying my rent money to go park. So, nah. If I gave you the money voluntarily, you didn't rob me, why am I trying to confront you or fight you or anything like that? My life is worth more than $40. So is my time. So is my energy. I'm like, you know what? Hey, I got scammed. It is what it is. And I got to just move forward. I can't let my feelings get in the way because at that point, I'm risking my own life and my own freedom for this low life over $40. I'm not going to do it. And like I said in my video, I'm not even calling the police because what are the police going to do? What are they going to do? Are they going to go up to him and get the money out of his pocket? The most they're going to do is come down, write a report, and then that'll be it. You might got to go to court. You might got to go fill out paperwork, and I don't got time for all of that. I'm not trying to go to court over $40. I'm not trying to do it. And you know what? It's like, I put it to you like this. It's like parking tickets, really, because check it out. Now, I had to learn this the hard way. So I got pulled over one time at a checkpoint because they put everybody over the checkpoint. Like, it was one spot set up down the street from a bar. Now, I wasn't drinking or anything. I was going to a friend's house, but I was on that street, which is down the street from a bar, and they had a checkpoint set up. You had to stop right there and then check your license and your registration or whatever. So I had bad tags. My tags were expired by like a month or two or something like that. So I got a ticket. And the officer was like, hey, if you fix the ticket, you can go to court and it'll be fixed. You don't got to pay the ticket. But what he didn't say was you still got to pay some money. I wound up going to court. I'm getting up early. It's a different city. I got to deal with traffic. 8 o'clock in the morning, I got to get up, go to court. I'm in there for like 2 or 3 hours. And the ticket was like $110. I wound up paying $80 still. I'm like, you know what? I rather would have just paid the whole $110 to avoid court. It'd be the same thing here. I rather would just not even call the police, not even deal with the situation, because I don't want to have to deal with more that'll come from it, because whatever comes from it, dealing with the police, dealing with court, dealing with the legal process, or going out there, putting my hands on him, and he called the police on me, or something weird happens and somebody die or somebody get hurt, that right there to me is worth more, or it's not worth the $40. Now, if we're talking about somebody that robbed me and stole my whole life savings or something like that, now that's different. I'm calling the federales or police or whoever. And if it's really, really urgent, then you might got to get active. I'm not saying I would do that, federales listening. I'm just saying I would understand that point of view. If all my money's gone and you got kids that are hungry or something like that, that's different. But $40 on a date, you're going to spend that anyway. Matter of fact, you could just say, you know what, I'm not going to be drinking all the drinks tonight. I don't know. I feel like you could just handle that a lot differently. You know, and like I said, I have no tears for the guy that did what he did, the scamming, because you do things like that, you're going to have bad things that happen to you. That's just the nature of that beast. That's how that goes, but it is what it is. All right. Hold on. Let me see. Retro AI says, no thanks, I passed, like ABL. Trouble, exactly. I'm with it. I thought you'd be going to say that you like trouble, like you want to have problems. But me personally, no, I'm good. I don't want no kind of not over that kind of money. I'm straight. Sadie says, not only $40, his ego was bruised in front of the girl. Yeah, true. But now it's going to be a lot more bruised than that when you go to the penitentiary. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be a lot more bruised than that. It's going to be a whole lot more. Like, the penalty for that is just beyond measure. I don't have that kind of ego problem. I'm not. Now, if somebody put hands on me or something, that's a different story. You touch me, you assault me or something. When you violate when you violate me like that, when you violate my personal space and you try to assault me or rob me, then now we got a whole different issue. It's just like when you home invade somebody. Now, if you outside my house acting the fool, that's one thing. You could just do that outside in public. But once you cross that threshold, like, hey, if my door is right here and you outside the door, talking, okay, that's one thing. But once you step foot across that threshold, hey, man, you crossing the gun line, boss. You're crossing the gun line. It's a wrap. But only until you cross the gun line, never before that. Okay, I'm not letting my feelings and my fear get in the way. And somebody said she found another guy. Oh, yeah, she'll have another guy tomorrow. The guy came from Corpus Christi, but they were in Houston. You see what I'm saying? So I already know what that was. That was like an online situation that he went to go meet her. So she'll find the next guy on that same app tomorrow. Because she turned him in. Because the picture was on Crime Stoppers and she saw it and turned him in. Or she said that that's the same guy. Now, I don't know where he was at when she said it, but she called the Crime Stoppers on him. So, yeah, she'll find on that same app she was on, she'll find somebody else and then he'll be in jail for however long and dealing with court and dealing with the lawyers paying more money than $40. So the moral of the story is, don't let your feelings take you away. Don't let your ego and pride take you away, for sure. DCF Press has crossing the gun line castle doctrine. Yes, absolutely. Castle doctrine in full effect. 100%. All right. But yeah, shout out to all you guys for rocking and rolling tonight. We're getting to calls much later, and we get into Crowder much later. But we got quite a few topics tonight that I'm going to get through. And where are we going to go next? Are we going to go to the trans lawmaker? Let's do that. So the Montana trans lawmaker, did you guys see that situation that I covered? So I didn't think there was going to be transgender lawmakers in Montana, but hey, you know what I think? I think that these people are being recruited in different parts of the country to push forward an agenda. Check it out. So the lawmaker in Montana was protesting over a bill that was going to block puberty blockers from being given to children. Now, why would a lawmaker be against that? I don't understand. Well, no, I'm being facetious. I understand exactly why they want to be against it, because they want to groom children to do whatever they want them to do. They can't reproduce, so they want to indoctrinate. They want to groom. Okay, if you are a male that them removed your twig and berries, you cannot reproduce. So in order for you to replicate yourself, you have to groom and indoctrinate. And also, they want to have these children for themselves. That's just what it is. Beyond just recruiting to grow up to be a certain way, they want to take advantage of these kids at their age, do whatever they want, and you can fill in the blanks for yourself. So that's what's going on. And I think these people are being recruited nationally by the LGBT agenda to do just that on a national level, to push forward legislation in their states and red states all over the country, and then eventually nationally. I think that's what's going on. It's weird because all of a sudden, ever since the whole Tennessee kerfuffle, the quote unquote Tennessee 3, remember that? All of a sudden now we're seeing a lot more from state governments. I think that's a way to get people to be more aware of local elections, because the average normie does not vote in local elections. All they're going to do at best is vote for the president every 4 years at best. You know, when you hear normies talk and they speak about voting and elections being rigged and whatnot, they don't talk about local elections, which is where elections happen. There are no national elections. There's federal elections, not national elections. And what I mean by that is there's not just one way elections happen nationally across the entire country. But there are elections where you vote for people that are in federal office, as in the president, vice president, right? That's how that goes. Or your senators. There are elections for federal positions, but there is no national election. So we're talking about things being rigged and whatnot. That's a local issue. That's a state issue, not a federal issue. This is why Georgia changed some laws to tighten up the elections in their state. That's why they want to say, oh, they're making it harder to vote in Georgia. They're making it harder to vote in X, Y, and Z place because we want to have ID and things like that be required. But you go to California, you need nothing. No ID, no nothing. Just go vote, do whatever you want to do, and it's fine. But there are certain restrictions on that in a place like Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, etc. Simple. But again, like I said, they're pushing for state houses to be recognized because they realize that people need to be aware of what's happening on a local level. And they want to put the trans people in there, the LGBT in there, so people that are on the spectrum with their gender or whatever can see them and then get motivated to vote in that election, in local elections, to put more of them in there, to vote more for leftist policies. That's what it is. Because when you go to like midterm elections, off-year elections, if you go there and see who's in the place, a lot of elderly people. And when you're elderly, when you're older, you tend to be more conservative in general. That's not always the case, but that's how it tends to be. Especially in a red state, you're going to have more elderly people that are going to be conservative. So they're trying to get more of the Gen Z, more of the LGBT. They're trying to get them in there and voting as well in the midterms. But anyway, I digress. So we're speaking about the Montana trans lawmaker who put up a whole thing. So what's the name? Zooey Zephyr? I was told that it's Zoe, like Zoe Deschanel. Why you guys spell it with two O's though? I mean, that's spelled Zooey, ain't it? Zooey, Zooey. Ain't that what they say? Maybe I'm just illiterate right now, but I think that's what that says. Zoe would be Zoey, not Zooey. That's spelled like gooey, ooey. Anyway, I digress. This person made a remark talking about if you vote for a particular thing, you're going to have blood on your hands. That's a rule violation. And as a result, Zooey, a.k.a. Zachary, got expelled from the House chamber. Not expelled from the House itself because Zach, Zooey, Gooey, Frick, Frack, whatever, can still vote, can still participate in House functions, but can't be in the actual chamber itself. So, and by the way, Zoe, or whatever, was a state champion wrestler. What's up with these? You know, when I see a lot of these guys that now identify as girls, it's always like you got these athletes and big crazy shoulders. They're not very convincing. It's like, sir, you look like you just were playing basketball yesterday, and now you got on a dress and your regular long hair with the same crazy Dirk Nowitzki forehead and nose structure. Cro-Magnon, caveman. Anyway, I digress.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is my honor today, as with every day in this body, to rise on behalf of my constituents in House District 100 from Missoula, Montana, who elected me to be their representative in the People's House. Today, I rise in defense of those constituents, of my community.
I'll say one thing, though. This cat worked on his voice. You know, we don't hear the Bruce Jenner. I'm Bruce Jenner. We don't hear that. We hear more of a feminine voice. Like I said, that forehead and jaw structure and nose is sharp as a tack, but it is what it is.
And of democracy itself. Last week...
Somebody said patooey. Hilarious.
I spoke on the governor's amendments to Senate Bill 99, which banned gender-affirming care. This was a bill that was one of many targeting the LGBTQ community in Montana.
Gender-affirming care, puberty blockers, hormone blockers for children. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you can't get a tattoo under the age of 18, you can't smoke cigarettes, you can't drink beer, you can't drive a car under 16, then why should you be able to change, quote unquote, change your gender, which is not even what happens? Why should you be able to get mastectomies and all type of weird stuff going on with your body as a child? I don't understand. I do understand, but I don't understand why a rational person would think it's okay to do a thing like that.
This legislature has systematically attacked that community. We have seen bills targeting our art forms, our books, our history, and our health care. And I rose up in defense of my community that day, speaking to harms that these bills bring and that I have firsthand experience knowing about. I have had friends who have taken their lives because of...
Well, you know what? We know what's going on with that, though. We know what's going on with the trans people taking their lives, because at the end of the day, you have a mental illness, and people that are mentally ill tend to self-harm. And it's not a thing that I take pride in saying. That's just the reality. When you have mental illness, self-harm kind of comes with it. It's simple. I think we should extend our hands of maybe a saving grace to these people and say, hey, here's some mental help. But if you just want to double down and not give mental help, rather you want to play into their delusion, I think you are more of the problem, Mr. or Mrs. or Mix, Zoe, Zach, Zephyr.
Of these bills, I have fielded calls from families in Montana, including one family whose trans teenager attempted to take her life while watching a hearing on one of the anti-trans bills. And in that hearing, our caucus pleaded with the Republican chair of the Judiciary Committee to not allow certain testimony, to keep decorum. And we were told a lot of people have a lot of opinions.
I got a question. How many people that have had the so-called gender affirming care then went on to go ahead and delete themselves? I want to know those statistics, because I don't think that, well, I know that this whole thing about gender affirming care is not a magic bullet, because a lot of these people, they try to reverse, try to go the other way. Imagine you are 13 years old with a mastectomy and you grow up and you starting to look at your friends from high school have kids and everything else and have a regular normal family, and you know you can't have that, but you might want to have that. Maybe you were a tomboy, maybe you're going through a phase, and now you've done irreversible damage to yourself. How are you going to feel? Are you going to feel like you might want to do something to yourself? Are you going to feel like you're in a mental health crisis? Perhaps
on these things. So when I rose up and said, there is blood on your hands, I was not being hyperbolic. I was speaking to the real consequences of the votes that we as legislators take in this body. And when the speaker asks me to apologize, what he is, on behalf of decorum, what he is really asking me to do is be silent when my community is facing bills that get us killed. He is asking me to be complicit in this legislature's eradication of our community, and I refuse to do so, and I will always.
Our community, my people. It's, so you know what I said? There was a video on Twitter of these trans males. They were males, biological men, but they were identifying as women, taking hormones and whatnot. And by the way, that video was kind of disturbing because I saw one needle. They're talking about, oh, I'm taking my hormones. And one guy gave the needle to somebody else. Are they sharing needles? Are we going to see HIV/AIDS outbreak again? Anyway, I digress. The whole point is that in the video, I'm seeing these three males, young white guys that identify now as female. And then somebody was like, hey, caption this. And I said, young white males looking for a sense of purpose and community. This person right here just said it. My community, my people. So you are an official from Montana, right? Why can't your community be your constituents, people that voted for you, where you live, your neighborhood, your town, your village, whatever it is? Why can't that be your community? You're looking for a community in this place of these other kind of people. But you know what? There's more to this guy. I did the video on it. I kind of broke down the thread. But basically, this guy has some issues. He was involved in the Smash Brothers scandal. And if you don't know what that is, a quick rundown. So that's a video game, right? Smash Brothers. And there was an online community of these people that would play the game and they would travel and whatnot. But there wound up being a lot of abusive minors in his community. And this person, when he was still known as Zach, said that he would take some of these minors to the events. And he was like, well, did I contribute to them being abused? So, I mean, did he? Was he complicit? Was he engaging in the abuse? I don't know. And one more thing. A lot of these guys are heavily into anime, as he is. Heavily into anime. I'm not saying if you watch anime, you're going to be like this. But if you have an obsession with it, you see, it's one thing to watch a thing or to do a certain thing, but you have an obsession with it, it can become unhealthy. Just like the way I always say, you're talking about eating food, right? You got to eat food to live. You have to eat food to live. If you stop eating, you die. If you don't drink water, you die. You must have food and water. But if you drink too much water, you can drown, actually. If you eat too much food, you can become 800-pound life. You could be a walking grand piano, a baby grand, a grand, or whatever. You could be a walking whale, a cow on your heels, on stilts. That can be you. If you eat too much food, but you got to eat in order to live. But if you eat too much, you have this unhealthy relationship with it. That's going to be the problem. Same thing with watching anime, stuff like that. A lot of these guys have that kind of thing going on, and they get into some of the weird anime. Once you get into the adult content, you see there's anime where it's like Dragon Ball Z, some of your normie stuff. Then you go a different direction and get into some things that you would not want your kids to be seeing, okay? You have Saturday morning cartoon type stuff. Then you have X-rated, beyond X-rated type things that is not safe for work at all. And I think this person right here might have been into that. And you know what? A lot of these male to female transgenders have that in common. They get so far into the adult entertainment, so to speak. They get so far into it, so hooked on it, they want to become a woman themselves, because that's like the final level. Actually, the final level is what they're doing right now with the puberty blockers and the hormone blockers. The final level is when they bring in the children. That's the final level of these guys that get very sick and addicted to that kind of stuff. But again, like I say, I'm not saying if you watch anime, you're going to be like that. But if you have a sick relationship with certain things, and you go overboard and do too much, anything can drive you that direction. But these guys have that in common. He has it in common. But I digress. Yeah, and you know what? Shout out to Crow Minion. Crow Minion says, I know many gay folks who hate this BS. Yes, absolutely. I know regular, like your average gay person is a normie. The average gay person is a normie, in my opinion. That's just me. Like, they don't like all this extra stuff. That's what I've seen. All right. Let me see. Gregory says, I should do a whole show on anime. It's destructive. Wow. I didn't even know that it was that serious. But I'll check it out. Where can you find this content? Somebody else says that. Hey, man, I don't know nothing about that. I'm not going to send you to no illegal website. If you get caught up, don't mention my name. I know I didn't do it at all. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. But to wrap up, the person, Zach Zooey or whatever, this person got expelled from the state house, talking about you got blood in your hands after he opposed a bill that would block what it said, gender affirming care, really, children's puberty blockers. It would block that from children. That's why he got removed from the house. And now, of course, he's like a micro celebrity. He's going on television, doing interviews, all this kind of stuff. Same thing with the Tennessee 3 or whatever. It's a mess. All right. But we have a whole lot going on. ABC News. Let's talk about ABC News right quick. I'm going to get to Crowder in a moment. Y'all please hang tight. But ABC News censored RFK Jr. Now, RFK Jr. is running for president as a Democrat. I think RFK Jr. is an honorable person from what I know. I don't know all about him, but from what I've seen, he's an honorable guy. I would not vote for him because, number one, he's a Democrat, and number two, he has no chance of winning. But I think that if you're running for president, you should be allowed to have your voice heard and not be censored by the media. So if you guys have not seen this, I'm going to show some of this. I'm going to show the entire thing. I'm going to show the part where they were talking. I'm going to show the beginning and the end. It's about a 5-minute clip. So RFK Jr. was on ABC News giving an exclusive first sit-down interview of his 2024 campaign, right? And if you don't know about RFK Jr., he is very outspoken against vaccinations and the C-19 lockdown, things of that nature. He's been like that for many, many years now, and he is running for president. Like I said, a Democrat, I wouldn't vote for him because beyond, and here's my question. Beyond him railing against vaccinations and the lockdowns, things of that nature, and also being against the class stratification, he's talking about how there's a bunch of rich guys at the very top and then everybody's at the bottom. It's a high class stratification. This is, the rich are getting rich, poor getting poor. He's against that whole thing happening. The income gap, I suppose. But beyond that, what is he for? How's his views on the Second Amendment and abortion? Like, give me some of those factoids. Then I can know more about you.
You've said in the past that there is a correlation between vaccines leading to autism. That's totally been debunked.
Wait a minute, who debunked it?
We have not seen any kind of scientific connection from the CDC, the World Health Organization, the National Academy of Sciences.
Those organizations are captive agencies, Lindsay.
And so you think they're all in cahoots?
Yeah, they're all captive.
You've discussed the Kennedy family as like any family.
Let's pause right here. So going back to what you just said, like all in cahoots, the interview was done in a way to make him appear to be like some kind of tinfoil hat wearer, a conspiracy theorist. The interview was done in a way that would discredit him and not give him a fair chance to express himself to the American people. You know, I think in this case, you shouldn't be a hatchet person like this person. Right? You shouldn't be a hatchet person as an interviewer. But of course, you're on ABC. They got money to protect. They got sponsors. Brought to you by Pfizer. Okay, ABC News brought to you by Pfizer. So if your guys coming on here trashing the advertisers, now we got a problem, right?
Kind of scientific connection.
Lindsay.
And so you think they're all in cahoots?
Yeah, they're all captive.
You've discussed the Kennedy family as like any family. There are disagreements. But I think what makes it different here is that several of your relatives have not just said that they disagree with you, but they've called you dangerous. And as you're probably well aware, there were two of your siblings.
So like I said in the video, this headline says, RFK Jr. is our brother and uncle. He's tragically wrong about vaccines. And let me see if I can see more. We love Robert F. Kennedy Jr., but he is a part of a misinformation campaign that's having heartbreaking and deadly consequences. How is it deadly? How is it deadly? I mean, I don't really get it. You talking about what? IVM and HCQ? Was he in favor of those? That's not deadly. I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of these vaccines are not necessary, and they cause a lot of injuries that people are afraid to speak about because it goes against their sponsors. If you're sponsored by Pfizer, Moderna, etc., or the federal government, who is also in bed with the big pharma companies, if that's what you're beholden to, then you're not going to say anything negative about those companies or those institutions as the federal government is. And the same thing with his family members. How many of them are paid by those people? I mean, what do they do for a living? Do they work for a medical company? Do they work for big pharma, insurance? Who do they work for? Who are they paid by? Why is it that she wants to highlight some of his family's disagreements with their brother, uncle, whatever, their cousin? Why bring them up and not talk about their background?
And a niece who wrote in a Politico article back in 2019, he's helped to spread dangerous misinformation over social media and is complicit in sowing distrust of science behind vaccines. We stand behind him in his ongoing fight to protect our environment. However, on vaccines, he's wrong. Your sister Carrie has said, I love my brother Bobby, but I do not share or endorse his opinions on many issues, including the COVID pandemic, vaccinations, and the role of social media platforms.
It's so much fake stuff, though. You know, one thing about social media, and not just that, I'm talking about mainstream media. I'm gonna say this, and I'm realizing this right now as I'm talking. I'm realizing it right now as I'm talking. Social media is more of a realistic place than mainstream news media. It is because you're able to get all points of view on social media, not just a curated version to try and deceive people to believing one thing or the other, depending upon who pays the biggest amount of money, depending upon what the government says is okay today or not okay tomorrow. You're able to get everything on social media, like Twitter. Shout out to Elon Musk, the modern day Paul Revere, the modern day savior of social media. Okay. And even though Facebook, places like that, Instagram, you can see a lot more realistic information than mainstream media. Look, you see this statement right here? I see some red flags right here in this statement. Here's the first part. I love my brother Bobby. Why you got to call him, like, why you got to say Bobby like a nickname? So you're trying to humanize your response. This is probably written by a lawyer, but you're humanizing it to make it seem like it's not written by a lawyer. You see what I'm saying? It's not real. It's fake. I hate stuff like that. I hate it.
Platforms and policing false information. Your sister Rory has said, I admire his past work on it as an environmentalist. Because of him, we can swim in.
See, again, Bobby, you know, that's just not, it's just not really real. I'm supporting President Biden. So, okay. You see what I'm saying? I feel like one lawyer or a PR firm and a lawyer wrote these statements for all the family members, because it's part of a campaign against RFK from being able to speak out against Biden. And remember, they already said there's not going to be any primary debates in the Democratic Party. So no primary debates, which means that they're just going to put Biden out there. And he said, look, no primary debates and he won't campaign. So look, don't worry about what I'm going to do for you. Don't worry about nothing. Don't worry about any opponents. I'm going to be the guy. I'm Xi Jinping. I'm going to crown myself president for the next few years. Okay. They talk about how bad a guy like Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping, well, really Putin, not Xi Jinping. They don't want that smoke with China. They want smoke with Russia. They speak about how bad a guy like Vladimir Putin is. Oh, he's an autocrat. He's a dictator. But then what do they say on the Democratic side? No primary debates and no campaigning from Joe Biden. So I'm running. Nobody else really matters. Elect me again. That's what's happening. Am I wrong or what? And then to any opponents that are coming out and doing interviews, you going on mainstream media, bought and paid for by the federal government, bought and paid for by the advertisers, Pfizer, Moderna, etc. And then you got lawyers coming out, organizing family members against them to release statements. Oh, let's humanize it. Call him your brother Bobby. And then endorse Joe Biden. You can't make it up. So on the interview where it's supposed to be about RFK Jr. and his presidential campaign, you got his brother or cousin or somebody endorsing Joe Biden right there during his interview. Can't make it up.
In the Hudson, but due to a wide range of Bobby's positions, I'm supporting President Biden. I'm just curious, if you are not able to get your own sisters to vote for you for president, how would you make that appeal to American voters?
What is your family like? Do they agree with everything that you say and do?
Exactly.
They'd probably vote for me if I ran for president.
Yeah, well, I have siblings who will vote for me as well, but I have a big family and many of them will not. I have two siblings who came to my announcement and a lot of other.
Like guys are asking what's wrong with his voice. He has a laryngeal condition. You guys, please correct me and kind of flesh it out for me in the comments. But he has a condition with his throat, basically. I think I read it's a laryngeal condition. Like, you ever heard about laryngitis? He has something that is in that same ballpark, but I don't know exactly what it's called specifically. Y'all, please give me a assist on that in the comments.
Other relatives as well. But I mean, there's disagreements, but I love my family, and my family in particular we grew up arguing with each other, and we are very, very, I think, say comfortable disagreeing with each other, both publicly and privately on issues, and at the same time loving each other. And that's something that I think is a lesson that we ought to learn for this country. We can disagree with each other without hating each other, without vilifying each other, without marginalizing each other.
I'm just making a distinction on just using your family's words, calling you dangerous. I was just using your family's words to call you dangerous rather than saying that's not like the typical.
So there's more here. I won't play the entire thing. I kind of want to get to the end where she's trying to basically give a disclaimer. It was crazy because the way she read the disclaimer was like a Big Pharma commercial. You're going to hear that in a minute.
That is compromising the values of this country. That's
hold on.
Urgence. No, I don't trust authority. I need to see the details. I need to see the science.
Your final pitch to voters.
My pitch would be that we need to look at what's happened to our country. We need to try to arrest this emergence of corporatism, of the corrupt merger of state and corporate power that's undermining our values, that's strip mining our landscapes, that is stealing the assets of the middle class of this country, that is compromising the values of this country, that's keeping us in a constant state of war, and that is creating a nation that doesn't resemble the nation that we all love, which is a nation with a handful of billionaires and widespread poverty, in which democracy does not have a prayer of continuing. And let's try to take a new path that will allow us to give our children a country that is, once again, a moral authority around the globe, an exemplary nation, and that has a booming middle class in this country that can sustain democracy.
We should note that during our conversation, Kennedy made false claims about the COVID-19 vaccines. Data shows that the COVID-19 vaccines prevented millions of hospitalizations and deaths from the disease. He also made misleading claims about the relationship between vaccination and autism. Research shows that vaccines and the ingredients used for the vaccines do not cause autism, including multiple studies involving more than 1 million children, and major medical associations like the American Academy of Pediatrics and the advocacy group Autism Speaks. We've used our editorial judgment and not including extended portions of that exchange in our interview. We thank Mr. Kennedy for the conversation. You've said in the past that there...
So you heard that the speech at the end was good. Like the pitch, his final pitch was good at the end. I mean, a lot of what he said, I'm right there with him. I think that he has a lot of sense. But of course, you're gonna have the hatchet lady from ABC give a whole disclaimer like the end of a Big Pharma commercial. It's crazy. Basically trying to just say whatever he said right there, don't believe it. And they censored him. They cut out certain parts. So when they were not just trying to debunk him and bringing up family members that don't like what he says, when they weren't doing that, they were just they were just. It was a mess. Hold on. I'm gonna show you guys a commercial, and you're gonna kind of see what she was saying at the very end sounds like.
Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away.
Hold on. Let me see if I can.
And exercise. It should not be the first medicine to treat diabetes, or for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not take Trulicity if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, if you have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you're allergic to Trulicity. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain.
It's kind of slow right here, like the actual Big Pharma commercial talking about, hey, take this pill for diabetes, but if you die, then it's a bad side effect. This is actually a little bit slower than what she was on at the very end of that. She was going like rapid fire, like one of them disclaimers for when it's like some kind of raffle, and then they want to tell you all the disclaimer at the very, like they want to give you all of it without letting you really hear it, so you just dismiss it and you don't go read it. And then when you sue them for losing your arm or something when you take the pill, they say, oh, well, it was in a disclaimer that it might cause limb loss, so that's your fault.
Or symptoms like itching, rash, or trouble breathing. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis.
So yeah, that's not a good example, but you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know the fast disclaimer. Oh, matter of fact, hold on. Let me see if I can.
And 63018 buy both on AT&T Next with qualified service. Free requires 30-month 0% APR agreement at $23.17.
Come on, sir. That's not fast at all. Let's do it this way. Nope, that ain't it. Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, side effects. If you died, then it was a side effect. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So don't even really worry about it. Don't even really worry about it.
Okay, you understand, Doc. Just double down.
In this fast-moving, high-pressure...
Sir, I think I'm good.
If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. I can do the fast talk too sometimes when I'm really just focused on what I got to do. All right. But we got a whole lot going on here. We got a whole lot happening. I covered the trans lawmaker, ABC News, censoring RFK. And to put a button on RFK, like I said, I'm not going to vote for the guy, a Democrat, but I respect his right to be able to get his voice out there and speak. Be a challenger to Joe Biden. You know, you are a respected person. People know who you are. You've done a lot for the country from what I'm able to read, from what I'm able to see. Why can't you get your voice out there? It's because they don't want it to happen. Like I said, they want to talk about Vladimir Putin being an autocrat, a dictator. They won't say that about Xi Jinping, although he's just the same as Vladimir Putin. But they don't want smoke with China. They want smoke with Russia. They're trying to fight Russia through these little proxy wars all over the world. Okay? It's been going on for a long time. Ethiopia, Afghanistan, now Sudan, Ukraine, all over the place. It's like, if you're going to fight, just fight. Don't just be trying to fight everybody. Don't try to fight everybody else and fight in their wars and fund their wars to fight them indirectly. If you're going to fight, just do that. If not, then fall back. Anyway, I digress. Speaking about transgender, LGBTQ, elemental P, Brittney Griner, the basketball player. Remember her? Speaking about Russia, Brittany Griner got locked up in Russia for carrying a backpack full of weed, vape cartridges, hash oil, whatever she had. You got a backpack full of weed on the airplane. It's like, what type of moron are you? How are you going to bring a backpack full of weed on the plane? Like, you didn't think, hey, you know what? Before I go to Russia, some foreign country, maybe I might want to unload my weed from my book bag. Okay. And if you can't unload your weed from your book bag, if you need your weed that much, you might be an addict. Okay. And if you got to smoke weed that much, maybe don't go to Russia with it. Maybe stay stateside, go to where it's legal and do it there. All right. If you go into a place where it's completely illegal and you got to have it, you might be an addict. All righty. But this is crazy. So she wants to have male players play against men. I won't play the video right here because the sound's kind of messed up. I fixed the sound on my end when I did my video, but she wants biological XY men to play against the women. But it's crazy because, check it out, she plays for the WNBA. Now, somebody's going to say that's a man right there. It's not a man. Brittney Griner is very masculine, but not a man. And that underlines my whole point. You see, just because Brittney Griner is masculine and appears to be a man does not mean, number one, that she is, and number two, she can compete against the men. She cannot compete against men because she's a woman. All right. Brittney Griner is 6'8" and can barely dunk. Matter of fact, hold on. Here's something I didn't play in my video. Brittney Griner. Yeah, that's what I want. They already know what time it is. Brittney Griner dunking. Okay.
Here's Griner.
So they got a whole mix of her. Hold on.
Here's Griner going in for the throwdown. Houston rumbling through, finds Griner for the dunk. That's what the sellout crowd was waiting for. Zargon finding Griner.
So
slam.
These dunks are nothing to be desired. LeBron would never. Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, like even the small guys, the 6 foot, 5'11" guys would never.
Dunk. As Griner comes up with a steal and maybe a little showtime. Brittney Griner, the two-handed finish. Over to Griner, who dunks it in.
Again, she's 6'8". LeBron James is 6'8". Okay, for comparison, Steph Curry on the Warriors is 6'3". He can dunk, and he's not even a dunker. He's a shooter. Here's the point. Although she appears masculine, she appears manly, she is not a man. She cannot go to the NBA and compete at all. If she was to go to the NBA, she would get smoked every night. Every night, like a Christmas ham. It'd be ridiculous. She would not compete at all. And here's something else. The stamina of women is not the same as men. First of all, you got the cycle every month. That's a whole different story. But the WNBA season is short. It's like 30 games or something like that. 32. It's less than half of the NBA regular season. It's like 30 games in the WNBA season. NBA season is 82 games plus the playoffs. It's not the same. She would never. No woman would ever go to the NBA and play. Now, if you get a regular college player or college baller, some guy at the end of the bench at a junior college, and he goes to the WNBA, he'd be Michael Jordan, LeBron James, all that. Okay, a Christian Laettner would be Larry Bird over there. He would, a Bobby Hurley, one of these guys would dominate, and it wouldn't even be close. Even the small guys, even like a 5'11" end of the bench college player who was marginal at best would go over there and dominate. This is Leah Thomas all over again. Leah Thomas, a.k.a. William Thomas, was average at best, below average, subpar, mediocre at best as a man swimming. And then he goes and becomes a woman, quote unquote, and he dominates the women. This would be the same thing when dealing with men. And swimming is not as an athletically demanding thing as basketball is. You're dealing with you're dealing with your arm, upper body strength to shoot the ball, your leg, your ability to jump, to run, your lung capacity, your hands, your hand size, palming the basketball, all of that. The WNBA basketball is smaller than the NBA basketball. The three-point line is closer. The court is smaller. The season is shorter. It's not the same. So when Brittney Griner says, "Hey, let the trans guys play," it's dumb. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. But yet and still, and you know what? Here's my point about Brittney Griner that I want to make. Here's my point about Brittney Griner. It's going to take the women to step up and say, no more biological XY men. XY men. No more biological XY men competing against us, masquerading as women. They got to step up and say it. Remember when Drew Barrymore hosted Dylan Mulvaney and she got on the ground on her hands and knees, basically praising him? Might as well have kissed his feet when she was right there. The audience, all women, clapping like trained seals at this man pretending to be mocking women. So at the end of the day, I can say whatever I want to say, but it's going to take women to say no more. Even if they appear to be masculine like this person. This is a woman, just very masculine. Okay, I don't know what happened. I don't know puberty blockers. I don't know what's going on, but obviously it's still a woman. And you know what? You know what's crazy? I've seen people look just like this. Biological XX women that look just like that. They be pregnant. They're pregnant. It's like, what in the world's going on? What's happening? Like the rapper, Da Brat. Have you guys seen her? Da Brat was popular in the 90s. If you're like 30 years old, you probably were not even born when she was popular. Or you might have been like a little baby, little Goo Goo Gaga, something like that. Anyway, so Da Brat is like 50 years old almost. Has been known to be a bull dagger for a while. And she's pregnant now. So you got a whole lot going on. You got a bull dagger pregnant and she's about like Meemaw age almost. Matter of fact, how old is she right now? Anyway, 49 years. She just turned 49 years old and pregnant. It's just like, man, come on. Like, do that a little bit earlier in your life, perhaps. Maybe in your 30s at the latest. Approaching 50, just now having the baby for the first time as a bull dagger is crazy. It's totally crazy. All right. But that's my point. What I'm saying is, even though you may be a masculine appearing person, it don't mean that you're a man. And that's the whole point. You might want to put on a dress, a high heels, wig, get surgery. Still a man. You are still a man. Period. Yes, she is pregnant. 49 years old. Is it safe? No. 35 years old is considered geriatric pregnancy. Once you pass that age, you're going to have problems, potentially. Now, can you have a baby safely past that age? Yes. But once you get beyond 35, it becomes harder and harder and harder to have a baby safely. It's possible, sure. But at a certain time, you're going to have the change happen. You're going to have them hot flashes, and then now you're in menopause and it's over with. So theoretically, at any point in time up until menopause, you can have a baby. But it's much more difficult. I mean, imagine if you have any moms out there and you got multiple kids, and you had the kids young. Imagine trying to be 50 years old, having your very first baby. Imagine not just your body and what you go through as a pregnant woman, but then raising the baby. Imagine having a toddler at 52 years old. It can be rough. Who got her pregnant? Who knows? Who knows? Because she's in a relationship with a woman. She's still a lesbian. So I don't know. It's so crazy nowadays. I don't know what's going on. You got bulldagger lesbians getting pregnant at age 50 with no man around. So it had to be a man somewhere. Sperm donor, I don't know what's going on. Y'all tell me. All right. Who got who pregnant? Great question. Fantastic question, but I digress. The whole point is, let's let men be men, women be women. I don't care if you LGBT or whatever, you still are what you are biologically. Them chromosomes ain't changing. That wig might change. That outfit might change. Your surgery and whatnot may change some appearances, but it ain't no chromosome surgery, is there? It doesn't exist. There's no surgery you can get that'll change you from XY to XX or from XX to XY. Point blank. But I digress. Now, hold on. Somebody says it was a sperm donor, a white guy. Stop lying. Really? Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. I gotta find that little factoid out right quick. Then I move on. But if that's the case, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, he was. Wait a minute. Wait. The ladies who thought they had plenty of options say they were surprised at how few black donors there were to choose from. And while they started with a few thousand candidates, once they ruled out some based on things revealed in Judy's genetic screening, they were left with 300 and only one was black. And that dude looked like Jiminy Cricket, Brett laughs. I was like, I'm sorry, but that wasn't going to be my choice. And since the pickings were slim, the couple said they ultimately chose on a white, they got a white donor. Hilarious. It's always like that though, man, because I can guarantee you that a Debrat will be the first one talking about Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot. But you know what? I'll be a 50-year-old bulldagger getting pregnant by a white man. You can't make it up. I mean, you can't make it up. It is what it is. I mean, seriously. Whatever though. I'm not surprised at these things. I expect them nowadays. I expect it. It is what it is. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. The donor was Caitlyn Jenner, hilarious. Or not that Caitlyn, you're talking about Big Bruce Jenner. Now, speaking about relationships and whatnot, we be getting in the Crowder. Yes, we are getting in the Crowder. Now, a disclaimer. I won't spend too much time on this, but I'm going to talk about it because you guys asked for it. Disclaimer. Divorces and whatnot can be a lot. I've gone through that. I understand how it is. But with me, I wouldn't say a word about it. You guys don't even really know nothing about it, and it's going to be the same way. It's human nature to ask and say, hey, what happened? But I'm not going to tell you because I'm not going to put myself out there or her out there. So I'll just leave it at that and just say, hey, things happen and we move forward, right? But what Crowder did was put his own business out there and make content out of it. He put it on Rumble and he has short videos and he's captioning it. You're making it content. So if you're making it content and you're involving other content creators in it, trying to blame them, making accusations. See, now we got to think that the whole world is going to comment on. I've seen so many videos. I've not watched them, but I've seen some of the clips. I've seen some of it. I've seen on YouTube, you got doctors analyzing it, divorce lawyers analyzing it, regular normie people talking about it. It's on the news. It's everywhere. New York Post picked it up. New York Post has several articles on it. So it's like somebody says it's none of my business. Hey, that's what I would say about my situation, but that's not what he did. He put it out there for the world to consume. So if you want things to be under wraps like that, don't talk about it. And you know what? He said that before he did his divorce announcement video, he contacted his wife's family, and the lawyers from the wife's family said, don't speak about it. But he did it anyway. Truthfully, the lawyers had his best interest at heart at a certain point, because if he would have remained quiet, all of what's happened right now with the video coming out from the Ring camera wouldn't have happened. Because the Ring camera video was a response from the family because he did not obey their request to not talk about it. And really, that should have been his viewpoint from the jump, to not speak about what's happening with his divorce, especially since it's still ongoing. It's like these guys, that talk about what's happening with a criminal case, like Vlad TV. If you guys know about Vlad TV, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but it's an interview platform, right? A lot of rappers go in there, a lot of guys that are in the street. They got all kind of crazy stuff going on. There was one guy, AR Ab. He wound up getting locked up over some of these interviews. And he was talking about active cases, crimes he committed, all kind of stuff. And it's like, yo, what are you doing? Why would you go on here talking about these things when you have open cases, open investigations? You go in there and talking about these things. The federale taking notes, lawyers taking notes. They're all taking notes and building a case against you. Now, in Crowder's case, it's not a criminal situation, but it is a civil situation. And when you say things on the internets, on television, when you write things, anything you say or do will go to court and get used against you. And if not just for the court action, it'll be other things that happen as a result. So this is a lesson to anybody. When you're going through a thing like this, keep your mouth shut. If they ask you, hey, what happened? What's going on? Hey, you know what? It's a personal matter. And that's between us. And I can't say no more. You know, and never speak bad about your ex-wife, baby mama. Never, ever do that. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is Uncle ABL talking to you. I'm the uncle right now. You see the gray beard? I've become the uncle. Do not speak badly about your ex. Don't do it. Men specifically. Women, I can't speak for. I'm not a woman. Men, do not speak bad about your ex. My dad told me that a long time ago. Dad told me that. He was like, look, you got a situation. Do not speak bad about her. Don't do it. It doesn't matter who's right or who's wrong. A lot of guys got up in their feelings, right? Oh, I'm right and she was bad and she wasn't listening. Sir, don't nobody care about that. Because guess what? When you speak bad about her, and then there's evidence that comes out makes you look bad, now you look terrible. You look terrible. When she's being quiet, not saying anything, not saying a word, and then video comes out and you look bad in it, they're going to go back to what you said. I picked wrong, all this and that. Do not say anything bad about your ex-wife, baby mama, nothing. It's not going to go well. It's not going to go well. It doesn't matter who's right, who's wrong. Get out of your feelings. What I saw from him in that video was a fake alpha trying to control his wife through certain actions and certain words. That's what I saw. I could be wrong. I'm just making an observation because I've seen that kind of behavior before. I've seen guys like him before in action. I've seen it. I've heard it. I've seen it. I've heard podcasts with guys like this. I've seen it in real life. I've seen it in my real everyday life with guys and girls that I know. I've seen it personally. I've experienced it personally. And I've seen guys on these podcasts and whatnot speak the way he spoke to his wife. The one car thing, you know what? The one car thing was a dead giveaway because check it out. And if I'm wrong, y'all let me know. I want to be interacting with you guys. Y'all please give me feedback on what I'm saying. And matter of fact, I'm going to pull up the video. I'm not going to play it right now. I'm going to just pull it up to have in the background. All right. So y'all please give me some feedback here. So, they have one car. Speaking about Crowder and his ex-wife at the time, they had one car. Crowder is a rich person, right? Why would he just have one car? I would never do a thing like that. If I have enough money to have two cars, which he does, I'm gonna have two cars because if you with somebody, again, I'm in full Uncle ABL mode, right? If you have enough money to have two cars, you're gonna have it because you're not gonna always be up under your wife all the time. She wants to go run an errand. She might want to go to a coffee shop, a bookstore. You got to let her have that freedom. And even saying that, let her have her freedom. It ain't no let. She going to have her freedom. You can't try to like put her in barefoot pregnant. You can't do that no more. This ain't 1930. You know, let her have some, like, get her a vehicle. I got two cars. I don't have a wife and kids. She's pregnant with twin boys. So when the twins come and y'all got a family of 4, you gonna have one car with a family of 4 and you're a multimillionaire for what? I don't understand. Check it out. He left her when she was pregnant and was not there during the twins' birth. He left her and bought a townhouse for himself to live in and still pay for this house right here. So he has 2 houses. If you can buy 2 houses, why not 2 cars? It's because it's a control mechanism. You can hear it in the video. Oh, you taking the car? You gonna leave me? I'm gonna be boxed in? What? That's just so silly. Dead giveaway, control mechanism. And then you, exactly, LB, you cannot control women. You can't do it. Don't try. Y'all on the same page or you not? If you're not, then it is what it is. You can decide to stay for the kids, raise the kids, or you can go. But trying to control her, it ain't gonna work. I never try to control no woman. I don't try to control nobody. Let's be on the same page, and if we're not, let's part ways. And that could be kind of unfortunate because you could be married and you want to work it out, but sometimes it's like that. I'm not saying that's my situation, but I'm saying I've seen that before where guys try to be the fake alpha, try to put their boot on their wife's neck. That's not how that goes. Furthermore, a true quote unquote alpha don't do too much talking. The real old school guys, your paw and whatnot, the real old school guys that work hard, go hard, and been married for like 80 years, they ain't do too much talking. My great-grandfather, an amazing person on my mom's side, he ain't really say 2 words. He ain't really say 2 words until it was time to. He talk you to death then, but until then, he ain't say 2 words. He was married to my great-grandmother for forever, for their whole life. And they raised the whole family. Everybody. They raised me partially when I'll be up there in the summertime in their 80s and 90s. They raised everybody, the whole family, like for 80 years. He ain't say 2 words. My great-grandfather built 2 houses in West Virginia in the 60s when the so-called racists and the white man's everywhere in West Virginia in the 60s that still stand to this day. A true alpha male. Didn't really say nothing. Didn't all this talking, all this, oh, you got to do wifely things. No. That's a weak male. Very weak. And you know what? This ties into what he does with other people. Dave Landau, you know about Dave Landau. Dave Landau was on Louder Crowder. A lot of you guys have watched it. I'm not a fan of the show, personally. I've watched some episodes, but I'm not really a guy that watches it consistently. The show was good. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not a jealous person or a hater or a liar. It was a good show. But Dave Landau, I did not watch those. I was watching Louder with Crowder back during the Not Gay Jared days. I've not seen it since. So, and my great-grandfather worked in the coal mine for 20 years too. Coal miner, building houses. But I digress. Let's get back to him, Dave Landau. So Dave Landau was on a show for a long time, for a while at least, and was really the star. So from what I'm hearing, he was very funny. And Crowder is a comedian, I suppose, but not as funny as Dave Landau. From what I'm reading, Landau was like 70% comedy. He have you crying, laughing, and like 30% political. Crowder was the inverse. It was good chemistry. But then they fell out because Crowder did not like Landau outshining them. What Crowder did was he made a button, and he could push the button up under his desk or on top of his desk. And when he would push the button, some yellow lights would light up. And that was the signal or the alert for Dave to be quiet because Crowder wanted to talk. Controlling behavior. You see what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Putting guys on NDAs, Not Gay Jared's on the NDA. When you falling out with everybody that's around you, you burn all kinds of bridges. You got, who else? You got Dave Landau, you fell out with him. Sven Computer fell out with him. Not Gay Jared fell out with him. Daily Wire fell out with them. Your friend Jeremy Boring fell out with all these people, and it's like the same pattern over and over and over and over again. Then it comes to your own wife. You're throwing her under the bus, talking about I picked wrong. That was crazy. I'm gonna come back to the video about his announcement. And the one key part, I would never, ever, ever say a thing like this about anybody. And no woman on God's green earth would ever tell you that I spoke to them like this. They would never, ever, ever, ever. If anything, I was too soft. If anything. But they would never say I was like demeaning them and talking down. No. I love everybody. I respect everybody. I don't care who you are. You could be somebody on the street smoking crack. I ain't going to try to mess with you. Or, like some guys, they do these little skits where they got crackheads, whatever, in the video and try to put them on camera. I ain't doing nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just, I don't think it's okay to do that to people. I'm not going to give a crackhead, like, I'm not going to not say that they're a crackhead or something like that, but I'm not going to roll up on them and disrespect them and mess with them and talk crazy to them. For what? I'll just leave them be. Leave them be. But if the crackhead is on my front lawn, going number 2, I'm going to call the police, but I'm not going to be trying to humiliate them on camera or nothing crazy like that. That's just somebody that wants to bully people. That's Stephen Crowder. As I said to you guys before, I noticed that right away. I saw right through them because I know guys like that in my regular everyday life. They're not in my life, but I've seen guys like that in real life. So here's what I want to get to.
Use discretion. I can't thank you enough. Sincerely, I appreciate it. Won't forget it. It's pretty simple. I loved a woman so much that I married her. A woman who, despite all of this, I still love as the mother of my children. And she wanted something else for her life. That's not my choice. She simply wanted out, and the law says that that's how it works. Now, of course, look, I get it. There are multiple sides to every story, but one thing that is undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own, in that I picked wrong. And
see, that right there was so disingenuous. But that comment sealed him. That comment did it. And before that comment on this video, speaking about his divorce, it's about a 6-minute video. Before that comment, he was talking about Candace Owens and alluding to her trying to extort him, which she wasn't. All that Candace did was just put 2 and 2 together. Like, hey, this guy, something was wrong with him. He's not all the way. Look at his face. Look at his face. I mean, come on. Obviously, he's going through some things. And what she said was, pray for him. That was actually appropriate. He's clearly going through things. I'm not a Crowder fan at all, but he's going through some things. Pray for him. That was appropriate. But he took that to mean that she somehow found out about the divorce and she was trying to use it over him. She was trying to like dangle it and trying to extort him. It's like, nah, you being paranoid, first of all, because your divorce is public record. It's public record. Fresh and Fit, the podcast, pulled his documents up on live stream the other day. They pulled his divorce documents up on live stream. It's public record. It's not a secret. You're not talking about it before this video, but it doesn't mean it's secret. So if she was able to just guess by going to your Instagram page and seeing that you were not following your wife and vice versa, and as a woman does a lot of times, you just put 2 and 2 together. Shout out to all the women out there that are investigators that know everything. You guys are brilliant. Shout out to y'all. She just used a little bit of common sense and women's intuition. That's it. It ain't no grand scheme to extort you, sir. You getting paranoid and attacking people for no reason. Putting your own self out there, and now it made it worse. Against your own wife's lawyer's advice. And then the whole thing about I picked wrong. You said you picked wrong, but you said it's not anybody's fault other than my own, other than I picked wrong. Disingenuous. How are you going to say it's not anybody else's fault, but you picked wrong? Obviously, you saying that she's wrong, that she was the one that wanted it. She wanted a divorce. She left you. She didn't want to work it out. You blaming her the whole time, then saying, oh, ain't nobody fault but my own. You blaming her the whole time. How you think she feels and the family feel about you saying you picked wrong? That was terrible. Like I said, even if it was true, if you were married to Lorena Bobbitt, you guys may know who that is. If you're married to like the Witch of the West, the most evil person in the world, you should never say that you picked wrong in this situation, because it's not gonna help you. And of course, the family responded to this saying, hey, these are wrong allegations, and they put the video out of the Ring camera. The family did that. The family put the video out to the reporter, Yashar Ali, and not only did they put the video out, there's also voicemails, there's text messages, there's all that. They gave all that to the reporter. all that was put out was the 3-minute video, but there's more. There's more. All because he ignored the request of the lawyer to be quiet and not do this video. It's crazy. Exactly. Warren Hill Wright says, it's not my fault. Blame the white woman. Exactly. It's crazy. So yeah, I mean, Crowder, man, I've been saying that about him. And you know what? I've known this about him for a long time. People that's in this circle, in the conservative sphere, we know each other. We know people. I've known about him for a long time. I ain't say nothing because there's no purpose. He didn't come out and say anything. He's just doing this show. I'm no hater or nothing like that. But then when you come out and you're attacking people that I know, you are lying to your subscribers, you're putting out things to get sympathy, you're doing all these things. What am I to do? And the whole world is now keyed in on him. There's articles everywhere. Hold on. I'm going to show you guys how much this is kind of like hit the news. Everywhere. Daily Beast, Forbes, New York Post, Newsweek, all over the place. All over the place. Independent. Everywhere. Okay, U.S. Sun. Look at this. ABL, stay out of it. Okay, tell the whole mainstream media stay out of it. Look, Forbes. Hold on, let me see if I can put it. You see it. The messy feud between Stephen Crowder and Candace Owens explained. Daily Beast. Stephen Crowder appears to issue veiled threat in response to abuse claims. Influencer Stephen Crowder caught berating pregnant wife for not doing wifely duty. It's the New York Post. Newsweek, Candace Owens condemns horrific Stephen Crowder abuse video. The Independent, effing watch it. Video shows conservative Christian podcaster Stephen Crowder allegedly berating his now ex-wife. The Sun. Everywhere. The whole world is looking at this. Okay? The whole world. So it's like, what you want me to do? What you want me to, like? But see, you know what? It would have been avoided if guess what? If you would have been quiet and didn't say nothing and just say, you know what? I'm going through a thing right now. I'm going to leave it alone. And if you're a target and there's money involved, you definitely need to be quiet. And he hired, and here's something else. He hired his divorce attorney before the divorce was filed. She filed, but he hired an attorney first before she did. So when he says, oh, well, I can't do anything, it's Texas or whatever, but you hired a divorce lawyer first. She didn't file until you had the divorce lawyer. You see what I'm saying? So he's not really telling you the full story. There's documents, evidence, paperwork, all of that to prove it. So it's like, what are we doing? And then people said that, oh, you know, he was set up. It's a Ring camera. So you planted a Ring camera up in the place where it's visible, right there in the top. If you have a house like that, that's a common setup. I have my camera in the front, right in my front door. So if I'm talking right there in the front door, my camera's recording. People say that the Ring camera don't record that long. Yes, it does. If you're right there in front of the camera speaking, whatever is being recorded, like whatever's happening right there, you're being recorded. My camera is not continuous recording. It's only when I'm right in front of it and it can pick me up and it can see me, it can hear me, it'll record. That's how it works. Same thing with a Ring camera. I don't have a Ring camera. I have a different kind of brand of camera, but a Ring camera is the same principle. If you're in front of it, it's going to pick up and it's going to record. And then people said he did not have heart surgery. He had chest surgery. So the surgery he had was to correct a sunken chest. Okay. Now, what Crowder said was that he had lowered heart flow because his chest was sunken in and the chest kind of pressed on his heart. So it decreases blood flow. But what the wife and the family said was that it was elective surgery, meaning like cosmetic surgery. He wanted his chest to look better. That's what they said. Either way it goes, it was not heart surgery. It was chest surgery, not heart. It's two different things. They ain't touch his heart. It was his chest. It's simple. It ain't nothing else to it. But you know what? I mean, people, they're going to defend Crowder, and that's fine. I ain't tripping. But, I mean, there's always something with that guy. It's always something. It's, you know, it's always. Here's a good question right there. That's a very good question. Michael Critchlow says, your channel is growing. and about to reach 1 million subs. You think the federal rally is? You think the federal? Hold on, I gotta get something to drink. I'm stuttering here. Will the federal rallies reach out to my ex-wife in the future to say bad things about you? She would never. She's a good person. She would never. First of all, I ain't nothing bad to say. Second of all, she's a good person. She would never. I say that confidently because I treat people well. I do right by people. I don't care who you are, but definitely my ex-wife, yeah, never. They may try to do something like that, but she would never, it would never be a thing where she would come out and say something negative against me. Y'all have not heard her say a thing, and because she's a good person, she wouldn't do that. Yeah, nah, You know, the thing about being married is that it's usually good until the end. And it's just, sometimes it ends like that. Now, I don't know about Crowder in this situation, but his problem is, speaking about the divorce, putting things out there and making accusations against other people. And see, now it's become a national news story and the whole world is picking it apart. If I was to come on here and say, hey, you know what? This happened, and this happened. Now that's topic for people to speak about. But I've not done that, and I would never do it. Neither will she. You've not heard a word from her. You're not going to hear a word from her because she ain't that kind of person. And I would not do anything to upset her or the family or anything like that. That's all. And one thing I would never, what he did on the camera, the way he was talking to her, berating her, and then after the fact, talking about I picked wrong. Oh, man, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I would never. I guys like that, I wouldn't even hang around. If you like that, I wouldn't even want to be around you. I wouldn't even be your friend. I'm the kind of guy I would confront you over that. If I see you talking to your wife like that around me, I'm gonna confront you. Like, what you doing, man? Don't talk to her like that. Yeah, I'm that guy. Straight up. Because I don't tolerate that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't. Don't be that kind of guy around me. I don't like that. You know, nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Point blank, period. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Yeah, I didn't involve I'm not the kind of person. I go out of my way to treat everybody with respect and kindness and love. That's what I do. That's the kind of person I've always been. And I'm going to always be like that. Which is why people that may not agree with me still got to respect me. Like on the YouTube streets, even from those that are on the other side, a lot of your black liberals and Democrats still respect me. Some guys, like I've had guys I've gotten into arguments with on the internets over my political stances come back and apologize. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of guys don't get that. They get into these permanent beefs and never ends. I don't have that. Hey, the kids, I feel for the kids. He has twin boys with the ex-wife. I feel bad for them because what are they going to do? It's a mess. That video, if you want to see it, it's on my website. It's on the description section of my article about this. Yeah, it's bad. But see, Candace, the thing about Candace, right quick, I'll get to the phone calls when I get done, sir. But the thing about Candace is she was only defending herself because he mentioned her in the whole thing about his divorce. It's like, look, don't put me in the middle of your divorce proceedings. Whatever you got going on between you and your wife is between you and your wife. Don't put me in it. I'm not involved. You want to mention my name, put my face up there. Now I got to respond. And I've said it on Twitter and I've said it on video many times. Leave Candace Owens alone. Leave her alone. She's proven that she's not to be played with. Don't start none with her. It won't be none. See, you know, what happens with Candace Owens is what happens to me sometimes. I treat everybody with love and respect and I'm nice and I'm kind. But then when somebody does me wrong or they say something crazy and then I respond and I go over the top, I'm the bad guy. It's like, well, wait a minute. I was nothing but kind and nice and humble and respectful. But then when I get attacked and I respond, I'm all of a sudden the bad guy. How about this? How about you reciprocate the love and the kindness that I give to you? Reciprocate that back to me, or leave me alone completely and don't talk to me. But then when you attack me and then I have to defend myself and you get hurt, I'm the bad guy. It's like, I never was a fighter or nothing like that as a kid. But when I would fight, guys would end up crying. It's like, look, man, it's your fault. I'm soft for real. You put your hands on me. Now you hurt and you crying on the ground. It's not my fault, man. Leave me alone. How about that? But I digress. We got super chats on deck. Then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The clip was edited, but it doesn't matter because enough of the clip was available to see how he behaves. Combine that with his prior activities with other people that have said things about him. Dave Landau, Zen Computer, Not Gay Jared, the list goes on and on and on. Daily Wire, Candace Owens, the list goes on. Combine what he said in that video with what he's done before in his track record and having these constant problems and falling out, you get a profile of a guy that's not a good person. But if you want to defend him, that's fine. But I'm just saying, it's hard at a certain point to defend a guy like that when you keep seeing the pattern of behavior. It's simple. Anyway, hey, I go all the way. Just leave me alone. It won't be a problem. I'm not going to give you a reason to attack me. If you attack me, then it's your fault for the consequence, because I don't do anything to people to make them attack me. All right, let's get to some super chats here. Thank you to Ocean Away 007 who says, love you, ABL. Now that Jada is less busy, she needs to actually run her company, Hey Humans. The deodorant has been out of stock for months. Shaking my head. Yeah, so I didn't cover in this live video right now about Jada Pinkett Smith. Her show, Red Table Talk, got canceled. Finally, about time. That show was so toxic. The Red Table Talk show, briefly, that's where the whole thing about Will Smith came out, where she had an affair on him with one of her son's friends, August Alsina. She is 50-something years old. He's 24. He was in the house with them living. That was a whole mess. And he wound up being gay. Anyway, or bisexual, whatever they want to call themselves. But her show on Facebook was very toxic, and it got canceled because Facebook canceled all their original programming. Now, they still may have the Red Table Talk show resurface somewhere else, but I hope not. For the sake of humanity, I hope not. I hope it stays gone forever. That'd be great for me. But yeah, I had no idea she had a company called Hey Humans. That's funny. That's interesting, I should say. Let me go back to where I was here. Okay, thank you to Kaius Poshman, who says, what say you about DeSantis and Joe Biden in Asia? Excuse me. I've not heard about that. So I have no idea. I got to look up on it. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, killing a man with $40 is like punching your opponent after you lose a wrestling match. Yeah, I did see that video. People need to learn how to take a loss. Exactly. Take a loss, man. You took a loss. It doesn't feel good. It's not a good situation, but why ruin, like you just lost? That is enough of a defeat. Don't take more of a defeat by trying to enact revenge. You may feel good instantaneously, or you may want to feel good right away by getting revenge, but now your rest of your life is going to be ruined by one bad snap decision. Over what, though? No more than your ego. The $40, you can lose that and it won't hurt you. But to take somebody's life over the $40, that'll hurt you. Thank you to Scripture Shores, who says, nice work, ABL. That truth on the crowd are revealed. Hey, thank you. I just got to speak the truth. I got to just, one thing about me is that I don't do things to try and gain approval. I don't do things to try to gain it. I just do things that are, it feels right to me. It's my opinion. So I'm glad you guys can appreciate that. Thank you for that. Thank you to Kaius Parchment, who says Twitter is going to have to start holding debates. Yeah, exactly, because ain't no more DNC primary debates. But the thing about it is, who's going to be there? Is Biden going to be there? But Biden, You can kind of like sit out of it. We don't really need Biden to say too much. He's not going to campaign. Like, we need to, not only on Twitter should you have debates, but also like TikTok, Instagram. We need to have these big social media platforms hold debates. And like you said, Twitter would be a good place because I don't think the big dogs want to have your RFKs and whatnot on there. Thank you to D-Easy, who says, keep fighting the good fight. We appreciate you and got your back. Thank you for that. Thank you to Barnabas, who says, only America allows medicine ads on TV and YouTube. Correct. Yeah, like a lot of my European homies are like, y'all got like drug ads on TV. Like, that's crazy. Thank you to Atomic Tabasco, who says, where is Apu? Good question. Thank you to Sherry D, who says, ABL, what do you think about the FDA doing this? Quote, the malevolent Moderna and Pfizer BioNTech C-19 vaccines are no longer authorized for use in the United States, April 18, 2023. Thank you for that. Appreciate you for your donation as well. I think that, well, that particular thing, they're talking about one particular variant of the vaccine. Ultimately, they're going to eventually say that none of them are going to be approved. And then it's going to be like, okay, well, what's going on? It's weird. Thank you to No White Guilt, who says, definitely a fake masculinity vibe from Crowder. Absolutely. Absolutely. To do all that talking and chest puffing, that's not what strong males do. You lead with strength, and strength is often quiet. The loudest guy in the room, usually the softest guy in the room. That's how that goes. Thank you to Skokie34 for your donation. Thank you to Spitfire for the donation with the snapping emoji. Thank you to Jalapeno Ketchup, who says, thanks for catching me up on the news. I haven't had time to watch lately. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Uncle Chryslo says, I read that one about my ex and all that. Thank you to Bob K. MIT, who says, ABL even respects Ivan until he crosses the line. Yeah, I say, sir. That's why I do that. You know, thank you for catching on that. I always say, sir, excuse me. You know, things you would say in common courtesy and respect, I say to those that may disagree, may disapprove or whatever. And I always say, have a good night. We disagree. We can have a heated debate, but I'm not going to disrespect you. That's just how I operate. Thank you to Kai's Postmus, who says, I hope Candace Owens will make up with 45 soon. Hey, we'll see. Thank you to Michelle Therese, who says, great show, ABL. Thank you for your donation. I appreciate you. And thank you to Robert Alder Reason, who says, Crowder sounded like a little boy not getting his way. It's not going to work either. Yeah, I caught that too. It's like, come on, man. This is crazy. This is totally nuts. And he said he wants to give more information. He filed a motion to release information about the divorce. It's like, man, you're doing all the wrong things. Just be quiet. Don't say nothing. Something like that's going on, be quiet. If it's not my business, don't make it my business. If it's not my business, I'm making my business. Simple as that. But let's get to the calls here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. He is a Canadian but lives in Texas, so he's an American citizen, I suppose. Is he on a visa or something like that? I don't think so. I think he's an American citizen, naturalized, but I could be wrong. Y'all let me know about that in the comments, but let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. 434-658-1220. There's also an email in the description for you could be on Skype in the bottom left corner of the screen. If it doesn't work right, don't blame me, blame the white man. Y'all know how I do. All right, let's go ahead and get to 860. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's F&A Ranger Xbox. How you doing, brother?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Oh, you know better than I do. That Steven Crowder, he's a drama queen who takes the hostages. What?
Yeah.
What can I say? My wife always had a newer car than me, you know, and I taught her how to drive. She passed the driving test first time. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, she's got to have a way to go, you know, especially if we got kids. I mean, my God, what you're off in another state or country, and she's got to go to the hospital. What's she going to do? Call an Uber?
Right, and like twin boys. Like, come on, what are we doing?
Yeah, but yeah, I look at it a little bit differently about why he's putting it out there. I think he's doing it for monetary gain because I think he goes on the philosophy of any publicity that's loud, good or bad, is good publicity when you're trying to profit off it.
Correct. Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, thank you. I was thinking about that. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like something he would do. But, yeah, for him to attack Candace, that's a class act there. You don't get no more classier than Candace Owens. I'm sorry.
That's right.
But beautiful young lady. Wish her nothing but the best. And there's something else I wanted to touch on, but when they're talking about him saying vaccine problems and stuff like that, you know, if you do searches on Google for died suddenly, and then you do searches for compilations of died suddenly done, you find out that almost 122,000 children in America died in less than 13 months of heart attacks. I'm
That's
62
crazy.
years old. It's not normal for kids to die from heart attacks. Period.
Right.
It's not normal. There was 2 teenagers hours after they got the shot died from heart attacks here in Connecticut. So I'll let you go with that, brother. God bless. God bless America. You take care. Oh, and when I say God, if you don't believe in a power greater than yourself, that's cool. Just look at it as good, orderly direction. And everybody needs that in their life. You take care, ABL. Bye.
Thank you for the call. All right, great call. Now, I see a comment right here. Now, I try to not read too many comments. I can't see a lot of comments, but I'm going to address it right quick. Somebody says, ABL, we love your advice on making marriage work, Mr. Divorced. I did not give advice on marriage at all. I was talking about how to treat people, not about marriage. That's a whole different story. How do you treat people, though? I don't care if you married, divorced, and I don't care who the person is. It could be a bum on the street or your wife. You got to treat people with respect and kindness. You can't talk to them that way. You can't be trying to control people. It don't matter who it is. You're trying to control people, trying to like be micromanaging their life. That's not going to be effective. Even with kids to a certain extent. Now, when they're little kids, it's different. But when the kids get to be of age to kind of explore and see things, when you try to be too domineering, when they're able to get out and explore life, they kind of go wild. It's a classic preacher's kid syndrome. This is basic stuff, man. Just about human nature, not about marriage. That's a different story, especially in the West with laws and whatnot that are coming into the mix. That's a whole different thing. Marriage itself, the institution, the laws are not the same as how do you treat humans. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna give you marriage advice. That's not my wheelhouse. My wheelhouse is how to treat people. That's what I do. That's why nobody that I have spoken to in my life, nobody that I know, any friends of mine, will ever say that I did what he did. Never, ever, ever. No ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, friend, family member, nobody. Period. But I digress. We'll take it to 614 on the line.
Hi, this is Doreen from Ohio.
All righty.
I just wanted to let you know that I'm a first-time caller. I've been listening to you for a long time. I am conservative, and I just wanted to call in about the Crowder business. I can't believe that he's done that to his wife. I don't think you can argue what's on that video. I don't care what he says. There's just no way he can make sense of what he did to her. So, yeah, that's just my view on it. But yeah, and with the RFK Jr. thing, I think it's really sad that Democrats won't let him debate our president, which is unfortunate because I think everyone should have a choice, Republicans and Democrats alike, and I think that's really sad. But with that said, I just want to let you know I really enjoy your show, ABL, and I wish you much success, and I hope you get 1 million subs very soon.
Thank you for the call.
So much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Great call. Shout out to her. Great call. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And to the mods, if there's like different opinions, don't delete them. It's okay for different opinions. You know, it's all good. Let's have all the opinions be here. As long as they don't get crazy and trolly, it's all fine. Don't even worry about it. you know. All righty, let's keep on rocking here. I'm speaking to 801. You're on the line.
Hey, what's up, ABL? This is Mecca.
All right, man. What's going on?
Hey, so I just got a couple of things. So the whole Crowder thing, I'm not trying to defend Crowder, but come on, man, you can't take that clip of her. Where they started the clip was them already in the middle of an argument. I mean, we don't know what started the whole argument. For all we know, and this is like, at first when I saw it, I was like, damn, Crowder, man, I've always known he's that kind of controlling kind of guy. When Dave Landau was like, you know, he always has a bunch of yes men around him, and I've dealt with guys like that. They always seem to be the guy that like always has to have the final say and always has to have the last laugh. But the video just looked a little fishy, man. Like it started in the middle of an argument. She's standing there, kind of like facing the camera with her shirt lifted, showing her belly, almost like, and you can disagree with me, but like I said, it's just my personal opinion. Just to over dramatize or if that even is a word, dramatize the whole scenery, you know, showing her belly that she's 8 months, and then another thing that was kind of like skeptical was when they're arguing, and in the middle of it, she just goes, "I love you. I'm gonna be there for you," and I'm just like, come on, man. We've all those of us that are married. When we're in the middle of an argument, there is no way she's just gonna stop there and just be like, "I love you. I'm gonna be there for you as a wife." And I was just cracking up because I thought it was funny. Like the first thing that came to my head was, man, this is Amber Heard 2.0. But at the same time, yeah, Crowder is controlling. He's you know, as a conservative, you come home a hardworking man. You kind of wish your wife, you know, had done some chores, you know, and her being 8 months and, you know, him being a young father, should have known, like, should have got some advice from his dad, like, hey, when a woman's pregnant, she wins every single argument. I don't give a dang what you guys are arguing about. You guys could say she could be like, the sky is green, and you just say, you're totally right, honey, the sky is green. I got 4 kids. My oldest is in high school. My youngest is 1 year old, so there's kind of a big gap. And I've just come to the realization, like, my wife, man, when we argue, she's right. Because at the end of the day, like, you guys just need to be one with each other, kind of, because we're like a Christian family, and so I take it to heart when Jesus says we need to be one, like how he and the Father is one. So like we'll sit there and argue and sometimes call each other the worst names. Like this argument I saw in the back patio was nothing, bro. I was like, man, like you can see a little bit of controlling going on, typical you know, fake alpha male stuff. You can see her trying to exaggerate. I think they've gone too far into their marriage. I mean, in their divorce process, where she was like, I need to start gathering some evidence now. Let me make this, you know, a little, you know, I don't know. I just thought it was funny, but it, you know, I think what Crowder's doing is good as far as the conservative movement. Him as a person maybe definitely needs to work on his attitude a little bit more, you know, and we all got flaws, man. Like we're all not perfect. It's definitely their own issue. In Crowder, yeah, he has screwed over, you know, Daily Wire and everybody, and that's why I just feel like he seeks a little too much attention, and that's kind of what's going to get him in trouble. But for the most part, like, the work he's doing overall as a conservative is definitely helpful to the movement. But this whole thing is going to be definitely a stain on him. Still love the guy. I just stay away from that kind of, you know, kind of like what you said. You stay away from that kind of guys, because I've dealt with those kind of guys in the past. Very controlling, but I just hope he just gets this over with, gets all the backlash he gets from especially the liberal media. They're going to run with this, and the worst part is they're going to try to tie it in with conservatism. Oh, he told you that they're authoritarian. They like to take charge of use women as their property. And it's like, no, man, if you understand, like, like we work together as one. The father is the provider. You know, he tries to go out, work hard, and provide for the family, while the mother is the nurturer and takes care of the kids. But, you know, whatever. They can say all the crap. That's the only thing I'm kind of irritated, is that they're going to run with this and try to tie it in with all of us conservatives. It's like, no, man, it's just this one guy has issues. Like quit freaking tying us together. But that's enough with that, man. I just want to hear all the facts come out.
Right on.
And I just feel like it's going to be Amber Heard 2.0, and Crowder's going to have his side as well. Like they're both kind of made for each other, where they're a little cuckoo in the head,
right on,
or whatever. But
we'll see,
and
we'll
then
see about
also,
that. But hold on, but like I got like no more time, so I got to get to the next call, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, brother. Stay blessed and take care.
All right, now appreciate it. All right, shout out to the caller. You know, everybody got their opinion. It is what it is. Who am I speaking to? 717, you're on the line.
Hey, ABL, it's Moses. How you doing tonight, my brother?
I'm well. About yourself?
I'm doing quite well. So I do have something I want to touch on, and that's the whole Brittney Griner thing. I still can't believe she wants to endorse trans women to be in sports. But I do have a question I want to ask for you. I don't know if you follow Megyn Kelly at all. Did you see the interview that she did with a girl called Peyton McNabb?
No.
Oh man, that interview was brutal. If you have time, check it out. I don't know if you remember, but she was a girl that was playing volleyball and got spiked in the head by a man.
Yeah, I saw
who
that.
identified as a girl. That interview was, oh my gosh, like it got me heated, because that's somebody's daughter. She was saying how her cognitive abilities have slowed down, that she needs help. She had anxiety attacks. She had depression. This girl legitimately had brain damage, possibly. And people still want to say, oh, you know, it's okay for a trans woman to be with women, you know, all that stuff. But this girl is evidence that this can't happen. You know, and not only that, there was some women overseas playing rugby. I think it was like 3 women that got injured because a man that identified as a woman played with them. Like, when is this nonsense going to stop? It's just getting me all bricked up, because that could be any of our kids. We need to start standing up, and we need to have these celebrity women know their roles, shut their mouths, and start standing up for themselves too, instead of going with the agenda.
I agree with you 100%.
And then what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, there was one last thing that I was thinking about. And, oh, yeah, with the Steven Crowder situation, I kind of get what both sides are saying. Here's my thing. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes in any relationship. Everybody wants to say, oh, in 3 minutes, that can't tell you anything. Well, 3 minutes could still tell you a lot. You never know. People always have skeletons in their closets. Each and every one of us do, no matter who we are. You know, I'm looking at it the perspective of, this could have been going on for months. We don't know. And it may have came to a head. Maybe she recorded him because she felt as if no one would believe him. That could be a possibility. We don't know what's going to happen. For me, I'm like the 3 sides of the story type of guy. There's his side, her side, and then there's the truth. Somewhere in between what both of them say is the truth, but we're never going to get to the bottom of it anyways. I know Crowder could be a pain in the butt. I've heard that he's a pain in the butt. You know, but at the end of the day, I'm just still going to reserve my judgment until I hear more. But that could be a possibility that, hey, she recorded him because she felt as if no one would believe him because of how beloved he is, or somewhat beloved. So that I'm in that camp.
Right on, man. Well, I thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Hey, appreciate it. Have a great one, bud.
Same to you. Yeah, but you know, as far as the recording, it was a Ring camera, so it was going to record anyway. It's just a matter of keeping the video. I think what happened was the family retrieved the video and put it out to the media because they were defending their person. Because what happened was that he put out the statement and then said some things about her. So now they want to defend their person, their loved one. That's how that goes. That's why you don't say things like that, because now it's going to come back on you. It's simple. It's not hard to understand, really. But shout out to you guys. Let's go to some more here. 940, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 940, hello.
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, I was just tuning into the stream and wanted to say I really respected your video that you made about the whole Steven Crowder situation. I had a few thoughts that I wanted to get your input on. I was thinking, you know, the whole thing, people are like, this is when the video came out from the Ring camera, it was like, oh, this is personal, this is private, it shouldn't be released. And you know what? I was thinking this is all the things that were said when Steven released the phone call with Jeremy Boring.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't get the word out. And, you know, when you play by dirty rules, people will sink to your level. I think it was just a matter of time before he, you know, people would call him out on that. Yeah, I didn't think it would be like this, but what do you think about that? When you play by that standard of releasing confidential, personal things where people don't know they're being recorded, I'm not saying this right, but I'm saying kind of a shoe fits.
Yeah, I mean, I see the correlation, but it's even less egregious in this case because it was a Ring camera. Like, I'm sure you probably had it set up. It's right there. You're in the backyard. You already know what it is. And then also, that's her house too. She lives there. So it was like, I'm releasing my own security footage of my own house versus I'm on the call with somebody and I don't know I'm being recorded, and then they put it out and I don't know what's going on and I didn't put it out. You see what I'm saying? So
exactly. It's not like, you know, Steven calling up Jeremy, trying to get dirt on him, trying to make him say something egregious that he could build a whole marketing campaign on.
Yep.
For all we know, it was completely candid, organic interaction. Some people are like, oh, I bet she planned this. I don't think she did. When you're 8 months pregnant, you don't have enough energy to be conspiring things. A lot of times when people are in a domestic abuse situation, your family will say, start gathering evidence so you have something to be able to get a restraining order if it's bad. So maybe if she had access to it, maybe this is something retroactively, but I don't think it seems staged. And I want to point out something. A lot of people are like, oh, she is so vengeful releasing this. The article explicitly said it was someone from her family that released it. It was her family that released the video.
Yep.
So that kind of throws into question, is this something that she did, or is it someone that's on her side in her family? That is like, you know, him saying that his fault in the relationship is that he chose wrong. That is just such an insult, taking no personal responsibility. A lot of people, when they're talking about their divorce, they're like, we were both wrong. I had my faults and I should have worked on them harder, and they had their faults. No, his only fault is that he chose the wrong person. I mean, taking no self-responsibility.
Exactly. That was the main thing, because he said he was saying things that kind of conflicted with each other. He was saying, well, it's my fault for picking wrong. Well, what you said was it's her fault. Really, that's what he said, although he said it was his fault. But if you pick wrong, that means it's her fault. So, and then again, like you said, you're not taking any kind of personal responsibility, no accountability, putting all the blame on her. I didn't want it. She wanted it. I picked wrong. You're just shifting the blame to her while not saying anything about yourself. And that's not what you should be doing.
Yeah. And we see that in the conversation where he says, you know, if you can't respect me, then we're at an impasse. And she says, well, then we're at an impasse. And he's like, you give up so easily. You just said we're at an impasse. She's like agreeing with what he said, and then he takes that and turns it on her. He's not taking accountability or responsibility for anything. It's about deflecting. And it seems like this is a theme whenever there's something like with the Daily Wire or with Dave Landau or any of the times, he's the warrior victim who did nothing wrong, and there's a way to explain it away and put it on the other person. And I've just lost a lot of respect for him the past months as the Daily Wire thing unfolded, and then now this. And what really makes me so upset is people saying, oh, that's not bad. That's, you know, that's a normal marriage. And then people on the left are like, this is what conservatives actually think is a healthy relationship. Or, you know, all the people defending him saying that there's nothing wrong. I'm like, this is clearly not a healthy dynamic. Don't defend it.
Exactly. 100% correct.
So, and I don't know if it was just the Ring camera footage, or if it was just Dave Landau's interview where he was talking about how controlling, and the guy that turned down a $10 million or however many million a year contract only gave Dave a $1,000 bonus when he came on full time. I mean, and then the past people that have worked with him and have been kind of either silent or negative on him, like Nake Jared, Spin Computer, so many people that are gone, and his whole thing with the Daily Wire was about trying to open the door for other conservatives. He's not boosted anyone. And Lauren Chin said, he was very combative, and not combative, but he was very, kind of an aggressive personality to work with. And it seems like when you hear it from this many different sources, and they show you who they are, like with the whole Daily Wire debacle, in a very underhanded way, I just think with the whole stack of evidence, it's hard to, if it's just one of those things, it would be deniable. But when it's a full spectrum of evidence, that's kind of hard to explain away.
Exactly, because it all works together. Like you said, it's not just one thing by itself. It's all these stories linking in together. You see a pattern developing. And at a certain point, if it's a pattern going on, well, that's pretty much who the person is.
Yeah. And I find the Ring footage very telling, because I had a family member who is so much like him. It gave me chills when I watched it. The way that he's like, when he's talking to his wife, saying, "Oh, you say, I love you more than life, but then you don't do things." The way that you kind of use a very embarrassing voice to parrot what someone has said, make it sound ridiculous, but so manipulative. Anyway, it's so weird when you see someone that seems so familiar, because they're manipulative in the same way as someone you know.
Right, exactly.
Anyway, so those are kind of my thoughts. I hate that people are trying to defend indefensible behavior and call it normal or okay.
I'm right there with you, and thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Hey, thank you for having me, and thank you for your video.
Oh, no problem. You're welcome.
Have a great.
All right, shout out to her. Great call. The number to call is 434-658-1220. The phone lines are blowing up. Y'all please hang tight. 936 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
What's up, ADL? This is Happy Mood.
All right, man. What's going on?
Hey, what's up? Hey, I'm just wondering, context matters in a day like this when, the media is just really corrupt,
Okay.
And just the timing of this, they got Tucker Carlson this week, and then the whole machine gets turned on to, I don't like Steven Crowder personally. It's just whenever no context to a video comes out of a short 3-minute video, we don't know what was going on before. What we know is what we saw in the 3-minute video. And personally, it's just something stinks about it.
So what's your opinion about why the video came out?
Oh, because the machine got Tucker. The machine is now going after the second biggest guy in the Republican Party. That's Steven Crowder.
So you think that the machine made him put the video out first about the divorce, where he talked about his wife and Candace Owens? Now wait. Hold on, because we got to get through it. So do you think the machine made him put the video out before that video came out? Did they make him put the video out about Candace Owens and speaking about the divorce?
I think Candace Owens was sitting on that video for months.
She wasn't one to put it out. So, but my question to you was, my question to you was, do you think the machine made him make the video about because remember, he puts the video out about the divorce, and then the video comes out in response to his video. You see what I'm saying? Because the family said, hey, we're responding to his video where he had a bunch of lies in it. So they responded with a statement, talked about his mental health and abusive issues, and then put the video out in response to what he did. So is the machine responsible for him putting the video out that made all this happen?
Well, my opinion is Steven knew that Candace had that video already ahead.
Okay, but I understand that point, but you're not answering my question, though.
I don't understand your question.
The question is, did the machine make him put the video out speaking about the divorce? Because he did it. If he doesn't do that, then the video doesn't come out. Because I think he knew that the video was already circulating out there, and he had to respond because he knew this short video was going to be released. Is that answering your question? Okay, but check it out though. What he said was that he contacted the family. So before he put the video out, he contacted the family of the wife. And then they said, don't do a video. The lawyer said, don't do a video, but he did it anyway. So then when he does that, the video comes out. Like, right, it was a response. If he doesn't do a video talking about his wife and I picked wrong and all this and that, and then Candace, then they don't do videos about him and there's no statement from the family. If the video comes out without his video, then it can appear like, oh, they're just trying to dogpile, just trying to attack him. But when he puts the video out himself, it's a response. So if it was a thing where he was trying to get out in front of it, he made it look like he's the problem because they responded to him, not just putting the video out there for no reason. And it's a bombshell. He doesn't win by doing this. It didn't make any sense.
There's no winning in this situation when he has a video like clipped out like this.
It would have been better if he didn't say anything and then the video came out. Then he could say, well, I'm being attacked.
It was going to come out.
But listen, you see, you're not hearing what I'm saying. It would have been better if he didn't say anything, because if he doesn't say anything, then he can say, well, I'm being attacked and this is just unsolicited. I didn't say a thing. I was being quiet. All this, he could play the victim for real and he could be validated in that. But since he came out and said something and attacked their wife and Candace Owens, now he played into it. If it was like that, he made it worse.
You would agree, though, Candace hates his guts, right?
I mean, I don't know about that. I just think that she was responding.
Excuse me,
sir. Wait. Let me just finish my thought. You asked me a question.
Okay.
Let me just finish. I don't know about that because she responded to him. You see, this is what I'm talking about. People, they get offended at somebody for defending themselves. It's like, yo, if you make a divorce video, you mention my name and accuse me of something, and then I respond, how am I the bad guy? You brought my name up. Leave me alone. I don't respond to you. Because there was excuse me. There was videos earlier in the year about Daily Wire and whatnot. And she responded to that because she's part of Daily Wire. So it's like, okay, you talking about me. So I'm gonna respond. You bring in people that I'm with in my company up, talking about we're on slave contracts. I don't like that. I'm gonna respond. Then you bring her up again talking about your divorce. I'm gonna respond. The only time she speaks about him is when he speaks about her first. If he keeps his mouth shut and doesn't bring her up and doesn't call her name, then there's no response from her.
He had to open his mouth. He's at war now. He's gonna have to respond to this.
At war with who?
You know,
at war with who?
The Daily Wire.
The Daily Wire.
The Daily Wire.
Ain't no more war with Daily Wire.
You don't.
Ain't no war with Daily Wire. No, it's not.
They're at war now after that video Candace made. They're at war now, baby.
The Daily Wire thing is over with because he's not going to go over there.
No,
excuse me.
No.
He won't go over there. He's not going to sign with them. He's on Rumble. So what is the war about? About what? Because the whole thing was about his contract negotiation. That's dead. It's over with. So ain't no more to talk about. He's on Rumble right now.
ADL, did you see that video Candace Owens made about him on YouTube?
Which one?
Like the one that she was the first one that she basically showed the video, right?
Okay.
She was the first one that showed
on YouTube. The one on, like you saw it there first. You saw it there first, but it was on Yashar Ali's page because he's the one that put it out. But go ahead.
Yeah, man. I think she was sitting on this for months.
But see, she wasn't the one. She wasn't the one that put it out though. So how are you going to blame her?
I know,
for
but
that?
But she was sitting on this video. She knew.
Excuse me, sir. If I put a video out on my YouTube page and I show a Fox News clip, how are you going to blame me for putting it out? I got it from Fox.
I think she knew what that.
Excuse me, sir. But listen, you don't answer questions. You try to just get around it. The question was, if I make a news reaction video to a Fox News clip, how are you going to blame me for putting it out when it's a Fox News clip? Obviously, I didn't put it out. It's from Fox News.
If that Fox News clip was circulating already, but it was not put out already, I knew about the video.
No. I got it from Fox News. I didn't put it out. It was on Fox News first. I am reacting to what I saw on Fox. On Twitter, she retweeted a thing that somebody else put up. You gonna blame her for that?
No, you could just
so what are we talking
Candace
about?
Owens' eyes that she hates Steven Crowder. Come on.
Man, look, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that. That's your opinion. You can have your opinion, and that's fine. But I don't know nothing about that.
Come on, ADL. Come on, let's be real, ADL.
I don't know. You can only think that just an opinion. What I do know for a fact is she does not make videos about him until he brings her name up first. That's a fact. He brings her up and she responds. That is fact. You can see it. There's evidence. There's that you can see it. She does not make a video until he brings her name up. All you got to do is just be quiet and she don't say nothing. Even if you're right. Let's just say you're right, caller, and she hates him for some reason, right? Excuse me, sir. Let's just say you're right and she hates him. If he does not keep bringing their name up, then there's no videos from her about him. Right?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
See, you gotta listen. If listen. If you're right and she hates him,
okay,
and he does not make videos about her, then there's no videos from her about him. That's right, correct?
Sure, but what video?
So what are we talking about then? So excuse me. So we talking about then? You just said I'm right. So all he's got to do is just be quiet. He didn't learn the first time, and the second time it happened again. This is what they. All you got to do. All you got to do is be quiet. Excuse me, because now you bring in my name, I'm gonna respond. If you want to talk about certain things, okay, you bring my name up, I'm gonna respond, and don't get mad when I respond. Don't try to blame me for responding to you attacking me. But thank you for the call, man. It's been good. I got to get to a few more. Thank you for the call.
Thanks, ADL. Thanks.
All right. But nah, it's like, look, let's say she does hate him. All right, cool. Keep bringing my name up, attacking me, talking about, oh, you on a slave contract, a Daily Wire, you guys, all this and that. And then I respond, how is that my fault? Same thing with divorce. Oh, Candace Owens, she knew about it and she trying to extort me. And then she responds. Anyway, calling line speaker to 980.
Hey, what's going on, ABL?
What's happening?
Nothing, man. I thought I'd just give you a quick call. I'm a long-time supporter. I buy merch, calling from Charlotte, North Carolina. I was just kind of, I want to preface this a couple things up front. Always support you. And I guess a lot of us that listen to you, I don't know that last caller, we know, how you feel about Candace personally, your opinion. I'm on board with you. I'm not a fan of Crowder. I'll tell you that now. And I don't know if it was the last caller. He is not the number 2 person in media in the Republican Party. That is absolutely hilarious. And I also do want to say this to people that are listening. I've never heard a you through any other format outside of your hard work. So like Crowder and I'm gonna kind of give the name, and you'll understand what I'm saying because they ban him everywhere he goes. But people like Crowder, Candace Owens, and so many other people have funneled through AJ, and you know what I'm talking about when I say AJ, right?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yep, I sure do.
And so a lot of people I'm 50 years old. I've been listening to AJ for probably about 30 years, right? So I never heard of you through AJ. And I just want to preface that to everybody, your hard work. And yes, I do enjoy listening to you on Saturdays and on Wednesdays and your clips during the week. And I know your passion, and I know your loyalty to Candace. And I'm a huge Candace Owens fan. Trust me when I tell you. She disappoints me at times not going on AJ's show because a lot of us heard about her through AJ. And I'm just that's my opinion, because I know she was grinding, but she is huge. Crowder does not have a bigger voice than Candace Owens. There's no, I will debate that with anyone. Candace Owens is a powerhouse, and it doesn't take away from Steven Crowder, in my opinion, being a dweeb. I just think he's a pompous. I mean, I've heard him on AJ a few times. He's just kind of like an AJ wannabe, and I feel that about Charlie Kirk too. I just want to throw a couple things. These are my opinions, but Candace Owens was not the aggressor here. And everyone knows that about Candace Owens. She's never the aggressor, except for, her political opinions about certain topics and things like that. But which me and you are passionate about too, especially black on black crime, and the black family, being that there's, the single parent homes and things like that. That's where she's really the aggressor. And that's why I love about her so much. But last caller, was just in last caller, it's no slight to you, just off base. I guess you weren't understanding, and you may be a Crowder guy, but Crowder to me is a AJ, and you know what I'm talking about, is a AJ knockoff. And he ran to him about a month ago when that whole issue with was it Charlie Kirk? Is it Charlie Kirk's where he was going to get that job? Am I right on that, AJ? I mean ABL.
Charlie, we talking about with Steven Crowder?
Yeah, wasn't he going to get a job? Wasn't that the network where he was going to go under? Candace Owens works for.
You mean Deadly Wire? That's Ben Shapiro.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I get him mixed up. I'm not a huge fan of him, right? But he that's fine. But my point of what I'm saying is, like, Candace Owens does not attack Crowder, right? It's just the facts. And here's the deal, guys. He is always throwing, I don't listen to him, but he's always throwing cheap shots at Candace Owens. Now, I'm going to put this. The video, he came across, again, as a dweeb, as a pompous. That's just my opinion. I don't think it was the worst thing in the world, but who would talk to a damn pregnant woman like that? Again, you could tell he was gaslighting her. And last caller, who cares? Let's just say, for what you said, let's say if Candace Owens did release that video. Let's just say she did, but she didn't. Dude, this is journalism 101. Like, this is what it's all about. So I just wanted to call because I never call. My wife calls in from time to time. But I wanted to call because I'm tired of the bashing on Candace. Now, me as an AJ supporter, it frustrates me that she doesn't go on AJ. But I don't know all the behind the scenes. There's always stuff in your world behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying. I was in the music industry for a long time, so I know the mumbo jumbo behind the scenes. But I did want to say this, though. Candace Owens was not the aggressor in this situation. She's just better at destroying people like Crowder. Crowder is not someone I'm going to for any information. He's just a lame to me. Now, again, I never heard of Crowder until AJ. He came on AJ's show. But here again, last caller, we all know about Crowder now because of Candace Owens. Candace Owens to me, is like a flyer for him. And you're absolutely right. The 48 powers of law. You silence your opponent. You don't say anything to them. You woke up the beast. So let me ask you a question. Where do you stand on this as far as the video itself? I mean, I don't see any physical abuse. I do see him acting like a dweeb. Where do you stand on that? Because I kind of came in a little bit later on your show. I was out in the yard working, but I kind of wanted to know where you stood.
Well, I'm going to answer your question. I get to some more calls afterwards, but to answer your question,
cool.
Yeah, to answer your question, the video just kind of confirms what I already thought about Crowder. I thought he was a manipulative person, a guy that has, some weak energy to him. Just the way he was speaking to his wife. That's not how you speak to people, period. It just wasn't really a good look, especially his wife. 8 months pregnant. It was really crazy. Some guys say you can't really judge somebody off of a short clip like that, and it was edited. But I saw enough. I kind of, and I coupled that with what I already thought about him from previous encounters and people's testimony and whatnot. It's a pattern. And like I said earlier, when you see a pattern developing at a certain point, that's you, man. But thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you too, brother.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. The phone lines are blowing up tonight. Yeah, good grief. The phone lines are blowing up. 480, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Melina. I didn't think I was going to get through. First time caller. I was going to start with Crowder, but it's been overdone so much. Just suffice it to say, though, watching that video was rather triggering, having known people with narcissistic personality disorder. Also triggering is seeing people go to bat for him. It was just kind of hard to deal with. But anyways, I'm the person who told you that Zoe was pronounced Zoe, and like the actress Deschanel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So according to Wikipedia, this is funny. Zoe Deschanel was named after, I'm sorry, I'm really nervous. She was named after a character in a book. The kicker is that character is male. So this guy chose to, he chose to spell it the way she does, but yeah, he's a male. And that's all I wanted to really say. But thank you for having your show. Thank you for having me on, and you're doing a great job. Thanks.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious. So Zoe Deschanel was named after a male. So the transgender male to female whose birth name was Zach, or birth name is Zach, changed his name to Zoe Deschanel's name without the Deschanel part. But Zoe Deschanel was named after a male. So you just went full circle, didn't he? You just went full circle. You went from being born a boy in the big blue blanket to change your name to a female name, but the female name was really a male name. So you right back to it. You might as well just go back to Zach. You know, go back to Zach, man. Have you one of them Dylan Mulvaney type situations? Have a male name, but appear to be female in your mind. But I digress. Call pick us to 817. You're on the line. Hello, can you hear me? 817, hello. All right, shout out to the caller. To the new callers, if you're calling in, you cannot try to time it with it. You can't look at the screen and hear me. Keep your ear to the phone, please. That's how you'll be able to know that I'm answering your call. All righty. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. The phone lines are jam-packed, so y'all please be patient. All right, let me get to a few more. Wow, like y'all blowing me up tonight, huh? Let me keep on.
Callers.
Call, how much speaking to 857?
Try.
Hello, 857.
Hello, ABL?
Yes.
This is Nate. How's it going, man?
It's all good, boss. What's happening?
It's all good. You're having a chaotic night, I see. I'm a first-time caller and massive fan of the show. Just want to say I'm happy that Jada Pinkett Smith has her show got canceled, and I am so glad about it. I mean, most of the callers today were talking about Crowder, which is a sensitive topic, and I don't wish to comment on that because it's all over the place, and we don't really know who's at the wrong side. But Steven Crowder, you know, he should not, you know, like release the video regarding his wife and talking about I picked the wrong woman and I made the wrong choice. That sounds wild. I'm not gonna lie. So, but either way, I just want to say your show is great, and keep it going, and I wish you all the best in future.
Well, thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right, thanks.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. Shout out to all the new callers calling in. You guys are fantastic. Let's keep on rocking here. Let's go to. All right, y'all please hang tight for me. I'm gonna get to all you guys in a moment. Calling, I'm speaking to 617. Hello, caller 617. Can you hear me?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's happening?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey, I just wanna. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Okay, just wanna make a quick comment about the Don Lemon interview with I forgot the name. I guess he's running for president.
You said Don Lemon interview?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about Vivek Ramaswamy?
Yeah. So why you guys, all you conservatives are saying that the guy trashing, that the guy beat him in the debate? Why did he won the debate? Wasn't even a debate, but let's.
Well, I don't see anything he said that was wrong. Well, I take that back. I thought that his opinion about the Civil War, about why it was fought, was a little bit off. But beyond that, he did really well. And I think Don Lemon
did really well.
Excuse me, not done. And I think Don Lemon came with more emotion and kind of got triggered rather than trying to hit him back with facts.
Okay, so he did hit him with facts. He just wasn't specific, but he did hit him with facts.
What facts were those?
Okay, so let's say Don Lemon goes to India. Even he's born in India as African American, right? The parent African American. Do you think the Indians are gonna allow him to lecture the person about Indian history, even if he got it all wrong? You think they're gonna allow him to do that?
Well, that wasn't a question I asked you. The question I asked you was, what facts did he say?
Well, he said that because he said after the Civil War, black people lock out their freedom. That was just not true. Black people did not lock out their freedom after after the Civil War. It's just not true because as you know, there were Jim Crow laws. Jim Crow law superseded the U.S. Constitution. They violated the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment, and took 97 years for rectify that problem. They already existed in the U.S. Constitution. So
okay, here's
this
a question.
guy have no idea what he was saying.
Here's a question. So, when did black folks get freedom? What year?
Black people get freedom after. I mean, you're talking about freedom as movement or freedom of their rights?
Whatever you're talking about. Whatever you're talking about.
Well, I mean, that was until 1968 when Martin Luther King signed the Civil Rights Act.
Were we not free until 1968?
After, yeah, but that's, you're talking about a country that half of it.
The question was, were we not free until 1968? So before 68, there was no freedom for black people?
There were restrictions. There were no completely free. There were restrictions.
So there was no freedom for us before 68?
There were restrictions.
The question was there no freedom for us before 68? Yes or no?
No, there was no freedom. You talking about total freedom or no?
So we were not free until then. Okay, I got you.
No, there were no freedom. You couldn't go to a library. You couldn't go to certain colleges, even though you pay tax.
We couldn't go to no library. We didn't have no libraries of black. We had no black colleges back then.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Excuse me, sir. You said we couldn't go to a library. So were there no black colleges or libraries on them? I'm confused.
You are confused because if I pay taxes to a library that I cannot access, if I pay taxes, I don't have to go. I cannot go to a college because of my color of my skin. My freedoms are restricted.
So you want to rephrase? We could not go to certain places. What you want to say? Same as whites.
Well, then restrictions.
Excuse me. The same as whites. You couldn't go to certain places if you were white too, right? You couldn't go to the black places, could you?
No, you could. White people go to black places,
and we can go to their place, and vice versa. It was like no.
We couldn't go. We couldn't ride the train. We couldn't ride the buses. Hey, let me tell you.
Okay.
Do you read the 14th Amendment? ABL. Have you read the 14th Amendment before?
Yes, I have read it before.
So why are we arguing? Why are we having this argument?
I mean, I'm just asking some questions. Ain't no argument.
No. Look, you can't argue something that is factually.
But you said we couldn't go to the library. But obviously, we could go to the library because there were libraries that we had that we made our own. Just like you said, we couldn't ride on the bus or whatever. We had our own buses.
And who paid for those libraries?
So, wait, excuse me. It don't matter. It don't matter. You said something that was wrong.
It does matter.
Excuse me.
So you're gonna have to. You're gonna pay taxes and no representation.
You said something that was wrong.
You're gonna pay taxes.
No, but
how could you be an African American defender?
You moving the goalposts
how
because.
Could you say that?
Excuse me, sir.
How could you
Excuse me, sir. You moving the goalposts because you said we couldn't go to the library. Then it became, we couldn't go to the state-funded library. Okay. Then it was, we can't ride on the bus. We can't get on the taxi. We couldn't ride on certain taxis and certain buses. You're moving the goalposts. If you're going to say a thing, then say that and stick with it rather than just, when I disprove it, you want to shift it and be like, how can you say that? No, you were saying something that was wrong. Be specific and be correct. Be accurate.
I'm being accurate.
Okay.
Under the 14th Amendment, you have right of protection for the individual. If I'm not protected and I'm paying taxes, if I cannot go to a movie, maybe not a movie theater because that's a private entity. But if I'm not going to go to a library, to the school, that I'm not going to go to a park because of my color of my skin, what are you talking about?
So we had no schools, no libraries, no parks for black people.
Oh my God! Who paid for the school that black people build? Who paid for the school that black people build? Who paid for the school that black people build?
Black people. We pay for it.
So why we should pay taxes to a college and we are not allowed to
you
go?
asked for something
That
different.
makes sense to you?
That's a great question. That's a great question. That wasn't your
And
original.
then why you
excuse me.
arguing
That wasn't your original point. Your original point was we didn't have access to these things. Yes, we did have access to these things because you're talking about this thing that didn't exist. You're trying to act like we had no schools, we had no clothes on the back, we couldn't go do nothing. That's just not the case. It's wrong. It's factually wrong. And really, things were better for us back then before integration. MLK said it himself to Harry Belafonte, we're integrating into a burning house. He said that in the 1960s before it happened. So you're saying we didn't gain freedom until then. Well, MLK himself said it was a mistake. And of course, things have gone downhill since then. But go ahead, you got it. But go ahead, but we got access to all this stuff, all these things that we didn't have access to before. But we have fewer things than we had before. Fewer things. Jackie Robinson, he was seen as a traitor in his day. Oh, we gotta go play with the white guys. We had our own league. So what's all this right here is just ridiculous talk. We had all we needed. It was no need to go integrate or nothing like that. You just want to make a point and be right, but you wrong as wrong can be. But go ahead, you got it. I'll give you the last word.
Dude, I mean, how much YouTube pay you?
How much I make for my views?
No, for your views for saying these type of stupid things.
Okay,
because as African American, you should feel shame on yourself.
Okay.
You should feel shame on yourself defending this type of
Are you African American, sir? Where are you from? You're not American.
Doesn't matter whether if I'm American or not.
Oh, so I thought that Don Lemon said you can't be a guy from somewhere else trying to explain
but I'm educating you. I'm educating you.
You said that earlier.
I'm telling you.
You said that earlier. Didn't you say that? Didn't you say that Vikram Ramaswamy shouldn't be talking to Don Lemon about what's like to be African American, trying to explain to him? Now you from Panama or Dominican, wherever you're from, trying to explain to me what's like to be African American. How dare you? How dare you? You said that earlier about Vikram Ramaswamy. You're a hypocrite.
I'm not a hypocrite because before the conversation, I asked you, do you understand the 14th Amendment? You say yes. So why are we having this conversation? Why I'm paying taxes to a school that I cannot attend?
Okay.
Why I pay taxes to a park that you cannot go? Why you pay taxes for a transportation that you cannot use?
Okay, now you got it. You're totally 100%. And a foreigner coming to explain to me what it's like to be an African American, and then what Don Lemon said that you agree with. Huh?
Because the guy was talking nonsense. That's what Don Lemon.
Because you disagree with him. Because you disagree with him, then it's like, oh, you were Indian, you can't say nothing. But if you agree with him, then it's like, oh, it don't matter where you come from. You know, now you're multicultural. Now you want to be accepting, right?
It's not about agree. I just told you, if you pay taxes for schools, for infrastructure, school, transportation, and you cannot use them because of your color of skin. Your civil rights are being violated.
Okay, great.
If you cannot vote because your color of your skin.
You can't vote because
your
your color of
civil
your
rights
skin.
are being violated.
Excuse me.
So that means why you have a constitution then?
Whoa. So voting, let's talk
about.
Why
do you have a constitution?
Excuse me. Let's talk about voting right quick before you go. So when did blacks get the right to vote?
After 1964.
We could vote before then? Are you sure about that? Because
well, do you know what's a test?
Excuse me. No. The question. Excuse me. The question.
Do you know there was all that stuff? Why are you arguing?
Sir, the question was, when did we get the right to vote? The right to vote. The right to vote. Because I thought we got the right to vote before women got the right to vote in the 1860s or whenever that was. Like after slavery, we got the right to vote as black people. Am I right or wrong about that?
Can you vote in Alabama?
Excuse me. The question was, when did we get the right to vote? I ain't asking you about poll tax and stuff like that. That's a different conversation. When did we get the right to vote? That's the question.
So why are you...
Excuse me. The question is, when did we get the right to vote? Answer the question or I hang up.
You sound pretty stupid.
Excuse me. When did we get the right to vote?
You sound pretty stupid because even the Constitution protects your rights.
You have a good night, sir. You have a good night. Shout out to Ivan. Always a fun call. All right. I got a little bit of time left, and you guys are wearing me out. Okay. 248 online. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, this is Lisa from the swing state of Michigan.
All righty. What's going on?
Not much today. I just wanted to ask you something a little bit off topic to get your opinion on it.
Okay.
I'm just wondering what you would think of a Trump DeSantis ticket for 2024 and why the two men haven't united already for that power ticket.
I think that'd be a little bit too much on one ticket. And the reason why I say that is because when Trump first ran for president, he picked Mike Pence because Pence could be like the straight guy to his, like a comedy team. In a comedy team, it'd be the one guy that's real goofy off the wall, and then one guy that's like just deadpan, not funny, just the guy that kind of balances them. I think DeSantis and Trump would be too much of the same thing on one ticket. You got two guys bumping heads. It's like two bulls in the ring. You need a balance, in my opinion, for the president and vice president, so there's not one trying to outshine or upstage the other, in my opinion.
You mean you think their pride would get in the way?
I'm not sure about that. That's possible. It could be, but I'm not sure. I think it's just by the personalities. They both are kind of the same. They're like the same guys, so that's a little bit too much on one ticket. I think there should be a balance. So one guy can take the lead and be the clear leader, and it shouldn't be a thing where both guys are at the same time seen as a leader. It's got to be one clear leader and then one guy that's a supportive person, in my opinion.
Okay, I see that because, they used to get along because, as you know, Trump endorsed Ron DeSantis for governor. And then it's been bothering me how Trump has been lashing out at Ron DeSantis lately. It just looks bad for Trump, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Trump understands that DeSantis is his chief opponent, so he's just trying to just compete the same way that he was competing back in the 2016 and 2020 campaign cycle.
Sure. I'm just wanting a ticket that's strong so that we beat the Democrats this time around with a big shot, like a long, I don't want to have it be a narrow margin, again, where they can cheat and get away with it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you.
Okay. And then another thing I just wanted to bring up, Candace Owens, I love her. And I'm going to college right now, and one of my political science teachers, he brought up, he just asked, kind of threw out a question there saying, who would you want as a VP or a president? And a few of the students, including me, said, well, Candace Owens would be a great VP to start with. And he said, oh, no, she's not educated. And that really struck a chord with me because I thought, well, you don't need to go to college to be smart and educated.
Last I checked, to be the president, you need 3 qualifications: 35 years old, natural born U.S. citizen, and live in the U.S. for 14 years. That's it. Ain't nothing about, or you got to have a degree, you got to be educated. Nothing about that is in the requirements at all to be the president, let alone vice president.
Yep. But do you think people really do think that way, or do you think it's just in the educational system that they think that way?
A lot of people, academia, a lot of them think that way. A lot of liberals in general think that way. They just don't like Candace. It's not even about education or anything like that. They just don't like Candace. They don't like what she stands for. They don't like.
She goes against their agenda, basically.
Correct.
Well, thank you, Anthony. I appreciate you taking my call.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, people always talk about the qualifications. It's like, what qualifications? All you got to do is be 35, U.S. citizen, 14 years. That's it. Well, U.S. citizen, period, naturalized citizen, and then lived here for 14 years. That's all you got to do. Like Barack Obama was able to qualify, although he is questionable with his background, living in Indonesia for a long time. But that's a different story. I digress. I'm running out of time. I'm trying to get to a couple more calls, do a little bit of overtime for you guys, just because you guys are so fantastic. I'm speaking to 267. You're on the line.
Barack Obama was able to qualify. Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, hey, Phil. How you doing, man?
I'm well. How about yourself?
Same circus, different clowns, man.
Right on.
Listen, I just wanted to address that other guy. He had the accent, because this type of stuff people really need to start standing up against that. Look, I don't know where that guy's from, but I can promise you this. There's nowhere in the world that guy would rather be than the United States of America.
That's right.
And it just boggles my mind how people have the audacity to come to, like, every
every white country in the world is like getting flooded by people of color immigrants, and then they get there and they complain about white people. but they're fleeing their own homes. It's like, well, why don't you have that kind? And they want to fight against white people and like pick a fight with white folks. And it's like, well, why don't you have that same type of energy with the cartels and the tribal warfare and the gang lords? And I just think, like, you know, white folks in particular really need to start standing up to that and be like, hey, if you don't like it, then go back to where you came from. Go deal with your own kind. Because it's like they infer that the problem is white folks. And if only white folks weren't around, everything would be so much better. Well, it's like, yeah, we're only 15% of the global population. If you want to go to a black country, Hispanic country, whatever the case may be, you're free and welcome to go find out. But that's all I wanted to say. ABL, I love your content, man. Thanks for having me on. Peace, man.
All right, now. Yeah, shout out to the caller. I don't know about where the whole white country thing was going. I was just going to let them cook. But whatever. I got time for a couple more calls. I'm going to try to, I got like limited time. I can't be up too late. You know, I got to get my beauty rest. All right. Let's try. Hold on. Y'all please give me some time. All right, Victor, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Ain't no problem.
Man, if only Crowder just kept his mouth shut.
That's it. All you had to do.
Or just better yet, just say that I'm going to divorce, and that's it.
That's all. That's all you got to do. Like, all this extra stuff, trying to talk about I picked wrong and all that, it's like you're doing way too much talking.
Yeah, I mean, and for the people who are defending Steven Crowder, if you've been listening to Steven Crowder for years, the signs were there. I said this before with the show, that when I started listening to you, it was you, DJ Academics, and Tommy Sotomayor that were the only black men that I listened to on YouTube. Tommy Sotomayor, he actually had an interview with Steven Crowder, and it seemed like the relationship was going well. Then Tommy Sotomayor said that Steven Crowder wanted him to do a skit where he didn't like it because he felt it was racist. After that, never heard from Steven Crowder again at all.
Wow.
So that was one side. I thought that, okay, that's just between him. But then you have the Gay Jared thing, which I didn't think it was nothing until I started seeing pictures with Spin Computer, when Spin Computer had that issue with Steven Crowder. Then Owen Benjamin had his issue with Steven Crowder, which Owen Benjamin admitted in an interview that he was dealing with his issues, going way too much in the conspiratorial aspect when he was dealing with Steven Crowder. But then he mentioned about his issue with Steven Crowder, which, and I would say at that point, then I'm like, okay, there's something going on with Steven Crowder.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then Dave Landau came out with his issue, and I'm like, yeah, something's up with Steven Crowder. And then now you got this video that came out where I don't care how harmful the medicine is. She's 8 months pregnant. What is she doing bending down, giving medicine to a dog while you're not doing anything?
Right, he was just chilling. Like what is it? It was so weird. The whole exchange was just so strange, weird. Didn't make any sense. And then one car, like, y'all got one car. You're about to have twins, so you about to be a family of 4 with one car, and you got all this money.
And with that big patio.
Big patio. You could park a whole fleet of cars back there in the patio. Like, what are we even doing? It was weird.
Yeah. So basically, for the people out there, if you have been listening to Steven Crowder for years, going back to the Gay Jerry time, then you will have understood what's going on with him. And the last one I want to talk about is that Montana politician that transgender that the Republicans had to shut down. I totally understand why they did that, because what she was saying, how she said that if you pass this bill, it's we say that when you pray, remember that the people you killed or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. You got blood on your hands. That was the main thing.
Yeah. If you want to go that far, I'm sorry, you don't deserve to be talking, because you're trying to control emotions and try to put blame on somebody that did not even kill transgenders. Just because passing a law or not recognizing your feelings doesn't mean that we killed you. Right. You killed yourself by committing suicide. That's the facts. Because you are trying to force people to follow in your belief. And when you're not happy, you want to kill yourself. That shows the signs that you need serious, serious help. And another thing, I want to end it here. Just because we don't recognize your feelings doesn't mean that we don't recognize your existence. I recognize your existence because fundamentally, you are a human person. You deserve every right as a human person. What I don't recognize is your subjective reality, because it does not align with something that's objective. That's it. Your beliefs should be conformed with objective reality. If you truly believe that biology, if you truly believe that feelings dictates your reality and gender is fluid, then you would not have tried to do the surgery, change your hormones, wear specific clothing that's specifically for a woman. That shows there that you really truly believe that gender is binary, and you're trying to force your body into something that doesn't conform with what's objective.
Exactly.
That's all. Yeah. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Bye.
All right, great call from Victor. Thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. I'm way past my time. I'm supposed to be off. You know how I do. I like to be super, I'll be on time leaving, but late coming. But no, thank y'all for being here. You guys are fantastic. I'll be back live again on Wednesday, of course, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live around 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description. Or go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Shout out to all you guys who have been watching, retweeting, super chatting, couldn't do it without you. Shout out to the mods for being here, keeping everything nice and in check. I know it's kind of chaotic tonight. There's a lot going on. And I know the calls were heavy. If you couldn't get on tonight, don't blame me. Blame the white man. I know how I do. But I got super chats to read. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. Thank you to Slenderella Charming with the heart beating emoji. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you to Caius Posthumous Turnius, who says, I hope Candace Owens will make up with 45 soon. Thank you to Michelle Therese. Says, great show, ABL. Thank you to Luciano Casanova, who says, can you cover the death of the woman who falsely accused Emmett Till? Please. I will send you an article if you need me to. I'll look into it. Thank you to Luciano, who says, honestly, who really thought she was still alive? I had no idea. I thought she had been dead. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of, it's like whatever. I mean, you get to be elderly and you pass away. It happens. You can't live forever. People are celebrating it, but it's like, she was 100 years old. I don't know how old she was, but it's like, okay. Thank you to Lou Maldonado for the donation that says ABL. Yes, laughing, thumbs up emoji. Thank you to Candy Girl, who says, pull up the first video Candace made. She said that if she feels the public needs to know the circumstances, she will let it out. What was the info? I don't know. All we could do is speculate. But what she didn't say was that he's getting divorced. Furthermore, even if she did, it's public record. So it's not like she had the information that nobody else had. The whole world can have it. All they got to do is suspect it and look it up. And what Candace said, the reason why she knew something was going on with him and his wife is because she did what women do. Shout out to all the women out there, all the amateur private investigators. What she did was go to his Instagram page and then go to her Instagram page, and she realized that they were not following each other. So she was like, oh, y'all not following each other? Something's wrong. That's just a little bit of common sense and women's intuition. That's not some kind of nefarious plot to take down Steven Crowder with public documents. I mean, it's crazy, the whole thing that's going on with Candace and all that. But anyway, I digress. Thank you to Reacciona Puerto Rico, who says, did you see the article from former ambassador to Haiti? He said Biden backed the de facto dictator so he could go forward with deportations. Wow, that's crazy. I did not see that. Luciano says, please don't forget my last 2 super chats. I got you, boss. Thank you to D-Easy, who says, don't forget Trump put out the vaccine and still says it's safe and effective. Not much is different than Fauci. Well, I mean, that's a point there. That's one thing that Trump does say, is that the vaccines were safe and effective. So, you know, it's hard for me to really fight you on that one there. Thank you to D-Easy. Already read that one. Thank you to Unifier TV. Shout out to my man who says, great deep detail analysis of the Crowder fiasco. I appreciate you for that one. Thank you to Zedach's King Sword, who says, we all got to stick together no matter what. And also, Zedach's King Sword gifted 5 ABL memberships. Thank y'all for that. I appreciate y'all. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. I'll be back live again, like I said, on Wednesday. But I'm putting out videos tomorrow. I may start putting out videos on the full day on Sunday, but I might have to do them before. I got one video that I already did today, but I'll just put it out for tomorrow. It's going to be the one about the Gen Z boys that purport themselves to be some kind of organic pro Joe Biden movement, but really they just are bought and paid for by the Democratic National Committee, the DNC, the Democratic Party. But that will be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.